Hello students, welcome back to your own channel Vedantu NEET English. This is Morphology, your biology master teacher. So students, this is a chapter that is called as Morphology of Flowering Plants, right? Now, today we'll be doing the first part of the chapter, part 2 in the coming days of this week. So students, let me tell you a small fact about morphology of flowering plants, rather the flowering plants. Did you know the flowering plants actually are the largest group among the plant kingdom? Take a small guess, all of you, take a small guess how large the plant kingdom can be. Rather, how large the angiosperms group can be. Anyone who can tell me? Is it 3,000? 3,000 different species? Is it 30,000 different species of flowering plants? Or is it 3 lakh? 3 lakh different types of just the flowering plants in your plant kingdom. 3 lakh students, 3 lakh different types of flowering plants are present in your plant kingdom, which makes the angiosperms as the largest group among the plant kingdom. So many of them are there, such beautiful vibrant colors of flowering plants. So this is Basuraj sir, your biology master teacher. Now students, quickly let me know in the chat if I'm audible and visible to all of you. That is very important. If I'm not audible and visible, there is no point, right? Now, so with that being said, now let's get into the weightage of this chapter, right? What is the weightage of this chapter? How many marks you can expect, right? How many marks you can expect from this chapter? Typically around 4 questions average comes from this chapter. 4 questions. Now that's around 16 marks. Yes, 16 marks. Now the 16 marks, sometimes what happens is, if the examiner, if the NTA becomes very happy with the plants, they'll make it to one extra question. That makes it around 5 questions. So sometimes, usually on an average, the marks of this chapter is varying between 16 to 20 marks. Now tell me, can you afford to lose this 20 marks? Yes or no, in the chat? Can you actually tell that no, I don't want this 20 marks? You'll be like, no sir, you cannot do that. So I want every student, that every single student who are watching right now, watch till the very end, because you will not regret it. When you watch till the very end, you will realize how beautiful this chapter is. Let me tell you why. Students. Look at this. Today's session is gonna be filled with images. Let me tell you, because this is a chapter which you just can't learn it with the lines of NCERT. You need to visualize the plants. You need to look at the plants, how beautiful they are. For example, look at this. This is a structure of your taproot. This is your mustard plant given your NCERT. Look at the prop roots here. Look at the stilt roots. So only when you see it visually, you will learn it better and you will remember it better. That's what I'm telling you, students. So this is a chapter which demands your imagination. So are you ready for imagining? Are you ready for looking at the vibrant images and learn, yes, this is the stilt root, lowermost node, roots are coming out. So similarly, students, I'll be teaching you what is new metaphor. See, this is a new metaphor in the case of rhizophora. So that is what is going to happen in today's class. Not only I'll be reading you lines of NCERT, I will also be explaining you each and every single term of your NCERT with the help of diagrams, visualizations, to make the learning fun and for you to enjoy the true essence of botany, not just mug up the lines of NCERT. So show some energy in the chat, show some josh in the chat, and show some love in the chat, and we will start today's amazing class, that is Morphology of Flowering Plants. Ready, all of you? Ready to get into the world of flowers? Yes. Now, first of all, let's understand what is the meaning of, right? First, what is the meaning of morphology? What do you mean by morphology, students? Understand, very simple. Morpho means shape. Morpho means shape, and logy means study. So in this chapter, you will be studying shape of the flowering plants. How does the flowering plants look from the outside? Morphology, shape from the outside, the external beauty of the plant. You will be learning this chapter. Okay. Now, the wide range of structure of higher plants will never fail to fascinate us, right? Even the Lord Vishnu, who has beautiful eyes, his eyes were said to be like, lotus petals. Such beautiful eyes even Lord Vishnu had, right? So it tells you that flowers are so beautiful, right? So beautiful flowers are, right? Even though the angiosperms show such a large diversity in external structure of or morphology, they are all characterized by presence of root, stem, leaf, flower and fruit. The what I'm trying to tell you here is, even though a plant may look very different, every single plant will have a basic structure. The basic structure of every single plant will include a root system, a shoot, that is stem, leaf, flower and fruit. Every single flowering plant will have a stem, leaf, flower and fruit. Yes, yes. Now, we talked about classification of plants based on the morphology and other characteristics in the previous chapters, that is plant kingdom and all, right? For any successful attempt at classification and understanding any higher plant, or for that matter of any living organism, we need to know the standard technical terms and standard definitions. Very important line of NCERT. For you to define a human being, you should be able to tell vertebral column, right? For you to define a plant, you should be able to tell it has chlorophyll A, right? Chlorophyll A, which is a universal pigment, right? Now, we also need to know that the possible variations in different parts. For example, root can be of different types. All of you know a root can be a taproot, a root can be a fibrous root. At the same time, a root can also be adventitious root. That is called as variants, right? Variations. Similarly, when it comes to your stem, underground stem, subaerial stem, aerial stem, different variations, exactly, found at adaptations of plants due to their environment. For example, adaptation of various habitat for protection, climbing and storage. Now you tell me, all of you, if you see a normal leaf, all of you tell me in the chat, all of you answer. If you see a normal leaf in the roadside and if you try to look at the leaf in the desert, will they be same to same or different? Tell me, all of you, tell me. If you look at a leaf on the roadside, you're taking a walk in a park and you look at a normal leaf on a normal plant in your area. At the same time, if you look at a leaf from the desert, the leaf would vary. For example, a mango leaf will be showing your reticular venation, proper margin. Now, those of you who do not know what is a margin, let me show you. I'll be teaching you later on. I will be teaching you later on all this, but try to understand. Here, if you look at today, I have today, students, trust me, today's class is going to be so interesting. You will learn so many new things. Here, this is called as different leaf shape. Here, you will learn something called as leaf margin, different types of leaf margin. This is called as different type of apex. All of this you will learn in today's class, not in detail, but here and there, right? So, if you look at a normal leaf and a leaf from a desert area, for example, Opentia, is a leaf like a spine there? Yes. So, even though a plant, both the plants have leaf, but the difference is that here in the case of your garden, the leaf is normal because the environment is normal. At the same time, the leaf in the desert is modified to the surroundings to make sure water loss is less. So can I tell students, the morphology of plants can change depending upon the environment? Yes or no, all of you tell me. Your morphology of plants can vary in according to the surroundings, like how you change around surroundings. With your best friend, you're something different. With some classmates which you don't like, with them you're okay. Exactly, same thing. Now, if you pull out any weed, you will see that all of them have roots, stem and leaf. Even the small roadside weed also has everything. Okay, they may be bearing flowers and fruit. The underground part of the flowering plant is the root system, while the portion above the ground is shoot system. Okay, now you tell me, students, small exercise, all of you, small exercise. Here we have one beautiful plant. All of you can see the plant, right? All of you can see the beautiful plant? Yes, right. Now, this plant right here quickly tell me, which are the vegetative parts here? Which is the vegetative parts and which are the reproductive parts? Which are the reproductive parts? Your time starts now. Go, all of you. And students, all of you watching record also, try doing this simple exercise. Nothing will happen. Okay. See here. No. See here. Now, when we come to your vegetative. First we learn about vegetative. Okay. Ready? Let's all of you do this at the same time. First we will do vegetative. Okay. Vegetative. Now, in the root system, can I tell the first vegetative part is going to be roots here? Yes, roots. Now, if you look at the stem, students, if you look at the stem in the root system, in the shoot system, can I tell the stem is here? The stem is here. Stem is here. If you look at the shoot system, do we have branches? Yes, we have branches. We have branches. At the same time, if you look at the shoot system, do you see leaves here? Yes, I can see leaf. At the same time, in the shoot system, students, in the shoot system, did we miss anything now? Shoot is done, stem is done, branches are done, root is also done. Then we talk about your vegetative parts. 1, 2, 3, 4 done. Okay. Now, when we talk about your reproductive, the first organ which comes to your mind should be what? It should be your flower, reproductive organ, flower. Now, what about fruit as well as the seed? Because aren't they products of your sexual reproduction? A fruit and a seed are a product of your sexual reproduction. So students, this is a simple exercise for you to tell me which is the vegetative part, which is the reproductive part. Any doubt here, students? Any doubt here? Any one of you quickly tell me in the chat? No doubt. Beautiful. Now, let's read the root now. Let's read the root, understand the root. Students, can we make points first of all? Instead of reading lines of NCERT, can we make some points about root? Okay. Let's start with the root. Let's make some points. Okay. Now, when I say root, what is the first thing which comes to your mind? Tell me, all of you. When I just say root, what is coming to your mind right now? If I close my eyes and I think about root, I will obviously think about underground. It is something which is growing underground. Write down. It is basically underground. Students, botany is very simple. You just have to describe what you imagine and what you see. Underground. Families in the third part. Okay. Nityashri, families in the third part we will discuss. Not now. Okay. Now, underground. Now, students, I'll ask you one question. All of you know a typical seed. Dicot seed. In this dicot seed, here we have something called as plumule and we have something called as radicle. Now tell me in the chat, this is the radicle. This is the plumule. Tell me, where does the root develop from? Is it developing from the radicle or the plumule? All of you will tell me, sir, your roots develop from the plumule. Troll you will do sometimes. Tell me, will it develop from the radicle or plumule? You will tell me, sir, it will develop from radicle. Developing from radicle. Okay, developing from the radicle. Third point now, tell me. Now tell me, students, is the root part of shoot system or root system? Simple question. Tell me, is it part of your shoot system or root system? You will tell me, sir, it is a part of root system. Very simple. Part of your root system. Okay. Next point. Now, students, tell me, which color is the root? Now, don't tell me pink and all, because I'm writing in pink or lavender or whatever you call it, or lilac. Which is the color of the root? Do you see color roots? Do you see pink color, red color, white color root? No. Because root do not have the function of attraction. They don't have to attract the pollinators. So usually roots are somewhat non-green to brown color usually. Yes. So can I write non-green? or mostly they are brown color. Brown color. Non-green or brown color in shape. Okay, students, if a root is developing it, this is the soil. For example, this is the soil right here. This is the soil. Okay, here we have a development of a root. Development of a root. And this is the lateral branches. I'll tell you later on. Okay. Now tell me, students, here we have the sun. Here we have the sun. S-U-N, sun, not S-O-N, sun. Okay. Now tell me, are the roots developing towards the sunlight or away from the sunlight? Now you will tell me, sir, it is growing away from the sunlight. It is growing away from the sunlight. So can I tell it is negatively phototropic in nature? All of you tell me in the chat. Can I call it negatively phototropic? Negatively phototropic in nature. Okay. Now tell me, students, is it growing towards the gravity or away from the gravity? It is going towards the center of earth. Here we have core, here we have mantle, and we have a crust here. Is it growing towards the gravity? Yes, it is growing towards the gravity. So can I tell they are positively geotropic in nature? Positively geotropic in nature. Last thing, here there is no internode and nodes. You cannot find internode and node here. Nope, not found. Internode and nodes are not found here at all. Tell me, was this difficult? Tell me, was it difficult to understand? This is what is root, students. You don't have to buy at all this. All of this is already known to you. I am just writing what you already know. Okay. Now, students, let's see what is given here. Okay. So here, before we go to the reading part, can you see this, students? Can you see this? The middle one, which is very little thicker and bigger here. The middle part. This one is called as primary root. Primary root. This is the root which is developing directly from the radicle. From this primary root, can you see something called as lateral roots, also called as your secondary roots here? Yes. See, it's all about diagram. All about diagram, understanding the concept. Primary root. From the primary root, we have the secondary root coming out. From the secondary root, can you see one more root arising? That is called as tertiary root. Primary root, secondary root, and tertiary root. Your main root is also called as your primary root. Lateral branches are also called as, or lateral roots are called as secondary root here. Understood, all of you? Simple concept, right? Simple concept. No. Here, in majority of the dicot plants, the direct elongation of radicle leads to the formation of primary root. I told you, primary root arrives directly from the elongation of radicle, here, which grows inside the soil. So, can I tell underground? Underground. It bears lateral roots of several order that are referred to as secondary, tertiary, etc. roots. Here, these are your lateral branches. Lateral branches can also be called as secondary, tertiary roots. Simple. Everything is very easy. Okay. Now, the primary root and its branches constitute the primary root and its branches constitutes the taproot system. Taproot. Now we have one more new term here called as taproot. Very simple to understand. I will draw it for you, then you can understand. Okay, I will draw this for you, students. I will draw this for you. Understand, very simple it is, not very complicated. Okay. Very simple to understand. See this. First, I'll tell you what is a taproot. Taproot. Understand what is a taproot. Fibrous and adventitious. Okay. Understand each one of them. First, you understand taproot. Here we have the radicle. Here we have the seed. From this seed right here, we have the development of plumule and development of radicle. Okay, development of radicle. Okay. Now, what is the taproot? What is a taproot? A root which root root which develops directly from the radical. Directly from the radical, that is called as the taproot. That is called as a taproot. Directly from the radical. This is called as radical. Radical. That is called as a taproot. That is called as a taproot. Okay. Bro root. Okay. Taproot. Clear. Now fibrous root. Understand fibrous root. Understand fibrous root, all of you. Understand fibrous root. Now, for example, this right here is a stem. This is the stem. Okay. A stem will have something called as nodes and internode. Nodes and internodes. Okay. Now from this nodal region, we can see arising. From this nodal region, lowermost node, you can see the arising of roots. Arising of roots. Okay. This is the base of the stem. So what is a fibrous root, students? Fibrous root is a root which develops from the base of the stem. Base of the stem. Fibrous root is a root which develops from the base of the stem. Base of the stem. Okay. Arise from the base of the stem. Can you see here? Here we have something called as tuft of roots. This is called as tuft of roots. Tuft of roots right here. Now, what is the adventitious root then? What is the adventitious root? Understand, very simple, very simple. This is a leaf. This is a leaf right here. This is a leaf right here. Now, what if from this leaf corner, we can see some roots arising? We can see arising of some roots. Okay. So, what is the definition here? What is the definition here? The definition of adventitious root. Definition of adventitious root is that roots which arise from any part of the plant. Roots which arise from any part of the plant. Any part of the plant other than radical is called as your adventitious roots. So if you look at this right here, this is radical. Tell me, is this radical? All of you tell me, is this radical? No, it is not radical. So if a root is arising from any part of the plant, for example, from your head also if roots arise, that is called as adventitious roots. From your hand, if a root starts arising, that is called as adventitious roots. Okay. So roots are arising from any part of the plant other than the radical, that is called as adventitious roots. Now, students, do you want to see some technical loophole now? Technical loophole. Understand the loophole here. Read the definition of fibrous root, all of you. Read the definition here. See here. Which develop from the base of the stem. Tell me, is the base of the stem is radical? No. So can I tell, since fibrous root is developing from the base of the stem, so can I tell technically, fibrous root is a type of, adventitious roots? Yes or no, all of you in the chat? Tell me. Understood? Adventitious, yes, adventitious. From your head when root is arising, it becomes adventitious roots. What logic? What logic, lol. Understood, all of you? So here we have the roots which develop from the base of the stem. That is called as your fibrous root. Fibrous root is a type of adventitious root. Adventitious roots. Done? Understood, all of you? Yes. Beautiful. Loophole we found. Okay. Not black hole. Now, right now we have what? Taproot system as seen in the mustard plant. Let's see a mustard plant, students. This right here is a mustard plant right here. Can you see? Mustard plants. Mustard plant is here. Nice mustard plant is growing here. Can you see the taproot here? You cannot see here, so magnification is done here. This is a typical taproot. So can I write mustard as an example here, students? Yes, I can write mustard as an example here. Examples are very important. Don't skip examples. Question will come from example only. Okay. Mustard. Okay. Mustard. Mustard is a type of your dicots. Even gymnosperms. Even the gymnosperms are the examples here. Gymnosperms are the examples here. What about in the case of your fibrous root, students? Fibrous root is very simple. Monocots. Wheat, grass, right? Wheat and grass. Wheat and grass. Wheat and grass also. Okay? Wheat and grass, basically the monocots. Monocots. Done. Basically the monocots. Okay? Beautiful. No notes. Students, do you want these notes? Do you want these notes? Students, do you realize from past 3 classes I am not giving you notes in the Telegram channel? You know why? Because all of you are not keeping your promise. And when I see the comment section, I see there is no Josh in comment section later on after the class. I see the likes in the session, there is no likes also. Then I'm like, unless you keep your end of bargain, notes are not coming. Notes are not coming. Sir, is fibrous root is an example of adventitious root? Yes. Fibrous root is an example of adventitious root. Why? Because fibrous root is developing from the base of the stem. Is base of stem radical? No. Base of stem is not radical. Okay. Students, okay, let's start here. Let's read here what is given in NCERT. Now, as seen in the case of mustard, all of you saw mustard? All of you saw mustard plant? All of you saw the mustard plant? Yes, we saw the mustard plant. Okay. In monocot plant, oh, very beautiful lines. Let me explain here. Very beautiful line. Let me explain. Very simple it is. Now, I will ask you one simple question. In the case of monocots, do we have radical and plumule? Yes or no? Quickly in the chat, tell me. In the case of monocots, do we have radical and plumule? All of you tell me. Tell me, it's fine. Nothing will go if you tell. If you just type yes sir or no sir. Tell me. In the case of monocots, do we have plumule or radical? Yes or no? First off, tell me. Yes, we have plumule and radical. We have plumule and radical is present. Radical is present. It is present. Okay, it is present here. Radical is present. Okay. If radical is present here, can the radical give rise to primary root? Yes, sir. It can give rise to primary root. It can give rise to primary root. If there is primary root here, why don't we have the tap root in the case of monocots? Why? Why don't we have tap root in the case of monocot? If there is primary root, why don't we have? It's very simple. Like some of you will be present in the starting of the session, then you will run away, no? Then you will run away somewhere or you will waste time or do something. Here also, primary root is present at first. Primary root is present at first. But this primary root here, sadly, one sad story it has, okay? This primary root is very short-lived, like all of you in the live session. Short-lived. You will run away later on. It is short-lived. It is very short-lived. Now, if the primary root is short-lived, plant needs roots. Unless there is no roots, plant won't survive. So, what is happening is, this primary root is replaced by tuft of roots. Tuft of roots. It is replaced by tuft of root. Understand here. See, this is called as your tuft of root. Can you see here? You cannot see, but I'm only not finding it. How will you see? It is called as tuft of roots right here. It is called as tuft of root. Nice sad story, no? RRP, primary root in the case of fibrous root. Okay, I believe all of you understood the concept here. So in the case of monocots, there is plumule and radical, but radical is also giving you primary root, but the primary root is very short-lived. Hence, it is replaced by the tuft of roots. and this tuft of root is called as fibrous root. They are called as fibrous roots. Tell me, very simple concept, right? It may find very simple. You might find very simple, but it is a PYQ. This right here is a PYQ. Okay, this right here is a PYQ. Let's read the NCERT. Okay, see here. In monocots, the primary root is very short-lived and replaced by large number of roots. These roots originate from the base of the stem. Did we learn that? You learn that? Base of stem and constitute the fibrous root system. As seen in the wheat plant, in some plants like grasses, monstera, and banyan, and the banyan tree and the banyan tree. Okay, fibrous root can also be seen in the banyan tree also, some of them. See here. See here. Taproot, fibrous root. This is your fibrous root. This is adventitious. There is no fibrous, no? Adventitious only again. See, adventitious roots are roots arising from the other part of the plants, other than the radical. Okay. Now, understand your adventitious roots. Roots arising from the parts of the plant other than the radical is called as adventitious roots. The main function of the shoot system are absorption. This is the functions. Okay, let's understand this also. Till here, any doubt? Till here, any doubt, students? Tell me. Till here, any doubt? Okay. Till here, any doubt? No. Now, students, everyone should tell me what is the main function of your root system. What is the main function? Anyone? Tell me, students. Sir will say, for what? Sorry, it's fine. Chill. It's fine. Now, tell me, students, what is the main function of a root? Now, you tell me. Will the root develop and produce flower? No, it will not produce a flower. Okay. Tell me, what is the main function of root? Ask quickly, tell me in the chat. What is the main function of a root? First of all of you know the main function. That is absorption. Absorption of H2O. See, chemistry. Huh? Water plus minerals. Water plus minerals. Absorption of water and minerals. Okay. What about anchorage? If there is no proper root, right, this root will fly off. Obviously, if there is no supporting system to hold the plant back, it will become a flying plant then. So, anchorage. Yes, it is giving anchorage. Sometimes roots can also provide storage. And sometimes it can also produce hormones. Gibberellins, example gibberellins. Right? Gibberellins can be produced by your root system. That you will learn in other chapter, not now. Okay? No. See here. The main function of root system is to absorption of water and minerals, providing a proper anchorage, plant parts storing reserved food material, and synthesis of PGR. What is PGR? PGR is nothing but hormones. Dinesh, everyone knows that. In the night time, if you go near the banyan tree, gone case. The plant will only eat you, not the ghost. The plant will only eat you. Now, there is a main reason for it, student. There is a main reason for it because it is said that during the night time, daytime also plant is releasing CO2. All of you know, right? Plant has to do something called as respiration. All of you know what is respiration? In the respiration, plant is releasing CO2. Right? Plant is using the glucose and releasing CO2. So, in the daytime it happens. But since in night times, there is no photosynthesis. In the night time, there is no photosynthesis, very less photosynthesis happening because there is no sunlight. So, in the night time, it will release a lot of CO2. That's why they say, don't sleep near a tree in the night time because high amount of CO2 is being released. Now, you only tell me, if you look at this massive plant, and try sleeping near it, don't you feel like this one branch in the night time, doesn't it look like a ghost then? Tell me, doesn't even look like a ghost. Even if you don't want to also, the fear will make it look like a ghost. So it might happen, but be careful. Be careful. Okay. So this is your typical banyan tree. Okay. Here all of you. Botany class, no. Ghost stories, yes. Okay. So this is the example of your fibrous root given here. Then adventitious roots is given right here. Roots arising from other parts. Here is a typical example, that is your grasses. If you see from here, adventitious roots are coming from the stem. This right here is the stem. This right here is the stem. This here is the lateral, not root, lateral branch. Lateral branch. From this stem right here, roots are rising from the stem region. Especially at this is right here is the nodal region, node region. From the nodal region, roots are rising. So adventitious roots. Adventitious roots. Okay. Here also, from the branches, roots are rising. Okay. Now, if that is clear, now let's go to the next part. Let's go to the next part of the class. That is going to be the regions of the root. Ready? Tell me in the chat, all of you. Ready, all of you? Ready? Ready or not ready? If you're not ready also, I'll still teach. Can we start? Regions of the root. Now students, all this is aside, can anyone tell me what is this? Can anyone tell me what is this structure, weird looking structure like one ulta cup it is? Can anyone tell me what is this structure here? So you should know that sometimes when you're trying to knit something, when you try to do stitching, when you try to do stitching, sometimes to avoid the injury, what the talented person or the craft person uses is something called as thimble. This right here is called as thimble. What you do is you keep the needle here, and you try to stitch with it. It is called as a thimble. Okay. There are multiple other applications also, but that is the main application of a thimble. Now students, if you try to invert this, doesn't this small region look like a thimble here? This region, see this root cap region, doesn't it look like a thimble? So that is why students, zoom it, I can't zoom it and all, very difficult to zoom, you only try to zoom it. Okay, this is called as root cap, and the root cap looks exactly like a thimble like structure. Okay, thimble like structure, that is a root cap. Now I'll tell you one small fact here. All of you tell me in the chat. Do all the plants have root cap? Yes or no? Quickly tell me. Do all the plants in the world have root cap? Yes or no? Quickly tell me in the chat. Yes or no? Quickly. Do all the plants have root cap? First tell me. Thoda sa, how can I can't zoom. This is not possible to zoom only. If I zoom it, no, the whole slide will become like this. Okay, thoda. Tell me, do all the plants have your root cap? Obviously not, because some plants root cap will be missing. In some cap, root cap will be missing. But you might ask me, sir, why? Why is the root cap missing? Because root cap is very important. In fact, your root cap is actually protecting the region of meristematic activity. Full protection it is giving. It is making sure nothing is harming the meristematic region. So if the root cap is absent, meristematic region will be exposed. Obviously. What will be exposed to? This meristematic region will be exposed to the soil now. When the root is traveling down, for example, here we have the root system. This is the soil. And the roots are traveling down. So when the roots are traveling down, the root cap is actually protecting. The region of meristematic activity. Now tell me students, if the root cap is absent, won't the root get exposed to the soil and harsh conditions? Yes. Then tell me. It is not a glass, it is a thimble. What glass this is? Not a glass. It is a thimble. Okay. Now, students, imagine. All of you imagine. What if there is no soil only? What are you telling, sir? For what I'm trying to tell you here is, what if the plant is growing in water? What if the plant is growing in water? Now you tell me. If the plant is growing in water, aquatic plants, does it require root cap that time? Tell me, all of you, tell me. Think logically. Think logically. If a plant is growing in water, does it require root cap? You will tell me, obviously not, sir, because there is no requirement of protection there. Simple. Now, also you tell me, in the case of your parasitic plants, if a plant is growing on other plant, 𝐂𝐡𝐞𝐜𝐤, example, 𝐂𝐡𝐞𝐜𝐤, does it require root cap that time? Obviously not. No root cap there also. Now, there is something called as epiphytes. How many of you know what is epiphytes? Tell me, students, what is the meaning of epiphyte? Epiphyte, you might have noticed this, students. You might have noticed this. On a large tree, if this is a tree, okay. If this is a tree right here, on this there is a branch here. There's a branch rising. And here also we have a small bush. Some of you, have you noticed, on this particular branch, in one corner here, one more plant is coming, some other plant is only coming. Some other plant is growing here on this branch. So a small plant growing on other plant, that is called as an epiphyte. An epiphyte does not require thimble or does not require the root cap. Why? Because it is not growing towards the soil. It is growing on the branch here. So it does not require the root cap. So aquatic plants, parasitic plants, as well as epiphytes do not require the root cap, or the root cap is absent in those plants. Interesting, no? Interesting? Yes. Glass tumbler, it seems. What even logic. Okay. The root is covered by apex by a thimble. See, thimble, not tumbler. Thimble-like structure called as root cap. Now, it protects the tender apex of the root as it makes its way through the soil. So, it is protecting the apex. This right here is the apex part. Apex. It is protecting the apex. Okay. A few millimeters above the root cap is the region of meristematic activity. Right here. Region of meristematic activity. Now tell me, students, all of you have learned enough botany from me. All of you know a little bit of botany here and there. If a cell is meristematic, will the cell be small or large cell? Tell me. All of you have learned a lot of botany from me, right? Tell me, students. If you have learned enough of botany from me, you can answer this question very easily, right? Will the cell be very small cell or large cell? You tell me, sir. The cells will be very small, dense protoplasm, thin walls. So understand all this. This is all chapters are connected a little bit here and there. Okay, all the chapters are connected here and there. Okay, thin walls, dense cytoplasm, because region of meristematic activity, the cells are just born here, newborn cells. Okay, newborn cells will be present in the region of meristematic activity. Why? Because meristematic cells do not have a large vacuole. They have small cutie vacuole. They have newborn cell, right? Newborn cell is here. Understood, all of you? Newborn cell. Now, that is region of meristematic activity. Now, if I ask you an examination, which region has cells which are undergoing active cell division? That time your answer should be region of meristematic activity, because here the cells are not keeping quiet. Like how all of you are quiet in the chat, not making any noise. But region of meristematic activity, all the cells are very active. They're like, I have to do something in my life. I cannot stay quiet. What do? I divide. That's all they're doing. They're very active, very enthusiastic. They just want to divide. So we have high dividing cells in the case of meristematic activities here. The cells in the region are very small. I told you, very small cells. Cutie small newborn cells they are. Thin-walled cells with dense protoplasm. They are divide repeatedly. So they cannot simply keep quiet. They are Dividing at all costs. They're like, no one can stop me in this world. Let anyone come, I will keep on dividing. Okay, they keep on dividing. Understood, all of you? Region of meristematic activity. There are 3 or 4 points here. First point is very small. Second point is thin wall. Third point is dense protoplasm. Fourth point is they divide repeatedly. Any doubt here? Any doubt here? Quickly ask me. We are very active, huh? Okay. Thumbs up, all of you. Very active. Okay. Any doubt in this meristematic region? Any doubt in meristematic region? No, obviously not. Now, the cells proximal to this region. Proximal means about towards the soil. This is the soil right here. Proximal region. This is the distal region. Distal, proximal. So, to region of meristematic activity, proximal means the above stage. Proximal region. Proximal to this region, we have region of elongation. Region of elongation. Let's see what is given here. The cells proximal to this region undergo rapid elongation and enlargement and are responsible for the growth of the root in length. Very important points. 2 points here. Or 3 points either. 3 points. What are 3 points? 3 points is what? First point is region of elongation is present where? Region of elongation is present proximal to meristematic activity. First point. Second point, the cells in this region, students, the cells in this region are elongated. Elongated cells and very large cells. Kumbhakarna cells. Kumbhakarna cells these are. Elongated and large cells. Elongated and large cells. Second point. Third point, very simple. A region of elongation. Region of elongation determines the length of the root. If region of elongation is very long, root is very long. Region of elongation is very short, short root. Simple as that. Simple as that. Okay. So region of elongation determines the root length. Root length. Okay. Now, the cells of elongation zone gradually differentiate and mature. So all the cells here, students, all the cells here are becoming mature now. Wisdom with a W. Okay, wisdom is coming. They are becoming very mature in life. They are like, no, I have to start taking care of my children and my wife. Okay, or I have to take care of my husband and children. Okay, either way. All the cells here are becoming very mature in life. Full buddhi is coming to them. Okay. So once the cells mature, they go to the region of maturation. Region of maturation. Now all of you tell me in the chat, is this region proximal to region of elongation? Yes or no? Tell me, is region of maturation proximal to region of elongation? Yes, sir. It is proximal to the region of elongation. So region of maturation is present on the proximal part of region of elongation. No. Hence, this zone proximal to the region of elongation. Proximal means upwards towards the soil. Proximal. This is proximal. Proximal. This side is distal. This is distal. Okay. This is region of maturation. Region of maturation. Now, students, now tell me, when you become mature, have you seen the Lord, all the Rishi Munis? Don't they have a lot of beard? Full wisdom. If you look at the beard only, you can tell so much of wisdom is there in their eyes. Okay. So that is my one of the ways to classify. If they have nice beard and everything, they are nice, learnt, all of the nice and scholar they are. So here also beard is coming. Beard is coming. Okay. So if you look at the region of maturation, mature cells, don't you see something called as root hair development here? Root hair. This right here is a PYQ. This right here is also a PYQ. They'll ask you simple question in examination. Root hair develops from the which region? Simple question. Okay, my buddhi stuck at zebra crossing. Wow. Root hair develops from the region of maturation. Region of maturation. Clear, all of you? Clear? So from this region, from the epidermal cells. See, the meaning of epidermal cells are outside cells. Epidermal is outer layer. Epidermal cells form the very fine and delicate thread-like structure called as root hair. These root hair absorb water and minerals from the soil. They help in absorption. Clear, all of you? Any doubt in this paragraph? They can ask you many questions from here. They can ask you the properties of meristematic, properties of root cap, properties of region of elongation, properties of region of maturation, Question can come from anywhere. Question can come from any part of the paragraph. Done? Done all of you? Done? Yes or no? Beautiful. Students, I have not asked you to mark your attendance right now. Quickly smash the attendance, I'm saying. Smash the like button, all of you. Click it. If you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel. If you want the notes, let me know in the comment section how the class was, and then only I will send all of you notes. Full emotional blackmail is happening here. Okay, so I will send you the notes very soon, students, because the problem is sometimes I forget the notes in the office only, and when I go back home, then I realize, oh my God, I forgot the notes in the office. When I come to the office, then I realize I forget about the notes completely. So remind me, okay, remind me to send the notes in the Telegram channel. Okay, give a small reminder, right? Yes, give a small reminder in Telegram telling us, sir, where is the notes? I will send you the notes that time. Smash the attendance, all of you. Smash the attendance. Okay. Now, where were we? Till here, any doubt, students? Till here, any doubt in route? Journey is going very smooth. It's already 7 o'clock. Do you realize we finished 1 hour just like that? I don't know how it went. We just finished 1 hour and we are nowhere finishing the syllabus for today. It's fine. So this is what learning does to you. When you're trying to learn in a very, responsive situation, you forget the time, how it goes. I don't know how. Okay. Now we start about modification of root, students. Ready? Ready? Modification of root, all of you? Emotional damage. White male. Exactly. This is white male. White male. Now, ready for root modification? Ready for root modification? All of you. Let me take some deep breath. I need some deep breath in my life. Okay. Modification. I will draw a table. All of you draw a table with me. Draw a table with me. Ready? Yes. Perfect. Root modification. For example, the first type of root modification is for storage. For storage. Thumbs up. Second type of root modification is for support. The emotional support all of you need. Support. Third type of root modification is for gas exchange. Gas exchange. Done. Now understand in root now. Understand in the case of storage. Under storage, we have two things. Two types. One is called as your taproot. Other one is called as adventitious roots. Under taproot, students. Under taproot, we have your carrot halwa. Carrot halwa we have. Okay. We have the carrot. We have the radish. And even turnip is also, but I am removing turnip. Right off. Turnip. Under adventitious roots, we have something called as sweet potato. Sweet potato. Even asparagus. Okay. Even asparagus. Okay. Done. I didn't write straight, so I have to draw a curved line now. Scam. Adjust, all of you. Now under support, students. Under support, we have two things. Understand now. Under support, we have two type of roots, students. Two type of roots. First type of root is seen in the case of your banyan tree. In the case of banyan tree, students, the roots are called as prop roots. Now second one is called as your First you have prop roots, other is seen in the case of sugarcane and all. S for sugarcane, S for stilt roots. SS. Stilt roots. Okay. Second one is called as your stilt roots. Clear all of you? Stilt roots. Clear all of you? Stilt roots. For those of you who don't understand stilt roots, understand this. If this is your, I'll show you a diagram, it will be easy. I'll just draw it here for you. Artist I'm becoming today. Full diagram. Okay. This is the stem. This is the lowest node. Lowest node. From the lowest node, we can see some kind of roots arising for support. Those roots from the lowest nodes are called as your stilt roots. Stilt roots from the lowermost node. Those are called as stilt roots. Students, is this visible properly in the? Is it properly visible in the YouTube? Tell me, because I don't have a how it looks on YouTube. I can't tell. So tell me if it's properly visible, right? Now, next one. Next one is gas exchange. Very simple. Gas exchange is very simple. Your gas exchange is seen in the case of rhizophora. Rhizophora. In the case of rhizophora. Students, in the case of rhizophora, what happens is, understand. In the case of rhizophora, this is the soil. This is the soil. Okay. Here we have the plant which is growing. Here we have the plant. Nice plants are growing. Okay. Nice plants are growing here. All the plants are growing here. Now what happens is, suddenly in the soil, this is the soil, right? This is the soil. In the soil, what happens is, in the case of marshy areas, or it could be in the case of saline conditions, halophytic conditions, extreme salt conditions, and marshy areas, there is very less oxygen here. Very less oxygen. So what will happen? Students, have you seen Tom and Jerry? When the Tom is trying to hide in the water, what does he do? When the Tom is running away from the honeybees, he goes inside the water and he puts out a stick to get the oxygen from the air. Have you seen that? When the Tom is running from the honeybees, he goes under the water and he he adds a straw, long straw, and from there he is trying to take up the oxygen. Tom is inside the water. Same thing what is happening here is, since there is no oxygen in the soil, roots will try to come out of the soil. All the roots will try to move out of the soil here. You see here, all the roots are coming out of the soil like this. And such roots which are coming out of the soil, so can I call them negatively geotropic roots. I can also call them positively phototropic, because they're going towards the sunlight. Today color coding will happen. Full nice color I will use. This is sun. Okay. So can I call them positively phototropic? Such roots, students, are called as what? Such roots are called as new metaphors. New metaphors. That is negatively geotropic, away from the soil, positively phototropic. Students, did you understand? They are called as new metaphors. This is the, oh, it looks so nice, students. I am only looking at it and appreciating it. Such nice it looks. Cute diagrams are drawn today. Okay. So this is called as modification of root. For example, the first one is what? The first one is called as storage. Taproot, adventitious root. Taproot is carrot, radish and turnip. Adventitious is sweet potato and asparagus. Then we have the support. In support, what do we have? Banyan tree. I'll show you a diagram now. You will be like, wow. See this. Not this one. I'll show you a better diagram. See this. Banyan tree. All of these are called as prop roots. All of these are called as your prop roots, which are coming from the stem. And there are also type of adventitious roots. It is not deleted. It was present last year also. Until the new NEET 2025 syllabus is out, it is not out. Whatever video you see on the internet, don't believe it. It is not out till now. Okay. So we are teaching in the YouTube or any other place with consideration of 2024 syllabus. So it was there in last year's syllabus, it is there now also. Okay. So this is called as prop roots. Can you see prop roots are rising? This right here is your sweet potato. I think all of you have eaten this now. It's very tasty also. In this sweet potato, you should add a little bit of sugar and eat it. A little bit of sugar and sweet potato and a little bit of honey. So good. And this is your carrot, which all of you know. Turnip, all of you know. Turnip. I don't like this. I don't know why. Okay. So this is your taproot, adventitious roots. Adventitious roots. Adventitious roots. Adventitious roots. Okay. Prop root. Students, tell me, what is this right here? What is this right here? See this. From the lowermost node, can I tell? This right here is the lowest node. Yes or no? This right here is the lowest node. From the lowest node, we have roots rising. Why? For support. It will make sure the maize or the sugar cane is stuck to the ground, and whatever you do, it will not move. It's like, try and shake me. It will say, try and shake me right now, I will not shake. Like all, it should be like your confidence. It should be like your confidence. Whatever anyone says, it should never affect you. Okay. So maize as well as sugar cane has something called as stilt roots. Okay. So it will make sure the plant is stuck to the ground. Stilt roots. How do you remember it? S for sugar cane, S for stilt roots, and maize also is an example. See this, stuck to the ground. Okay. That was your stilt roots, prop roots, all this is down. Now students, now, do you want to see actual image of rhizophora? Everyone, fire on the chat. Do you want to see the actual image of rhizophora, not the image given in your NCERT? I will show you the actual image of rhizophora, how it is growing in the wild. And you want to see the actual roots rising from top, bottom. Tell me yes or no, quickly. Or fire in the chat. I will show you. Or I'll skip it off. I'm telling now only. Okay. You want to see? See this. Can you see this? Friends, can you see this rhizophora? This right here is the actual plant of rhizophora. And I really wish some of you could actually visit all these places and see this, because the real botany is learned in the wild. You can't learn botany with the help of books, but unfortunately, you don't have that option right now. But in future, some of you can go and actually visit a place which has this rhizophora. See this rhizophora right here. Beautiful rhizophora. And you can see from the watery areas, it's called as the marshy area. From the marshy area, can you see the roots are rising here? Everywhere, roots are rising for oxygen. Can you see? This is called as rhizophora. This is how you learn botany, but not by just mugging up NCERT or reading NCERT, by visualizing things. Okay. So this is called as rhizophora respiratory roots. Why? Because they're helping in breathing. Yes. Respiratory roots. You also check NCC. They have something called as lenticels. Lenticels will help in breathing. Lenticels will help in breathing. Okay. Now students, let's read this one small paragraph and let's see, did we cover every point? Can we start? Yes. Roots in some plants change their shape, obviously, and structure and become modified to perform function other than the absorption and conduction of water and minerals. So, why are roots modifying? What is modification of root? The meaning of modification of root is that if a root is performing any other function, very simple definition, understand. If a root is performing any other function other than the absorption or anchorage, that is called as modification. Given here, they are modified for support, storage, and respiration, that is gas exchange. Okay. Taproot, carrot, turnip. Two examples given here. You can add radish also if you want. Adventitious roots of sweet potato and also asparagus. Adventitious roots. See, sweet potato is adventitious. That is a PYQ. Right here is a previous year question. Then don't write potato in the exam and come. Okay. Now, have you ever wondered what those hanging structures of the support of banyan tree is? Swing, no swing. You go become a Tarzan on that. Don't do that. Okay. That is called as your prop roots, the swinging roots. Okay. And the stem of maize and sugar cane is supporting roots called as stilt roots. Where is it given? Stilt roots. From where? Lower node of the stem, very important line. It can be asked as a question. From which node? First or second or third? From the lowermost node. If a root is arising for support from the lower node, that is called a stilt root. Very important line of NCERT. Lower node of the plant, stem. In some plants such as Rhizophora, growing in swampy areas, swampy, where a lot of catfish and all grows, catfish, not the internet catfish, the other actual catfish. Many roots come from the ground and grow vertically upwards. They are called as pneumatophores. Help to get oxygen from for respiration. Done? Done, all of you? Now students, do you realize such a small paragraph? Can you visualize the images now? Can you understand the entire chapter with the help of imagination and how it actually is present there? That is how you should learn botany. Okay. So all this NCERT lines becomes very easy later on. Very easy they become to understand. So with that, root is completely done and dusted. Now can we start the stem? Can we start the stem, students? No, why is there questions here? Questions, huh? Oh, questions are here. Start, all of you. Start answering the questions. Time starts now. Quickly go. Don't waste time. First question is on your board. First question is on your board. The negatively geotropic roots produced by Rhizophora are called as. It is the PYQ of your NEET 2024. This year, NEET. So how Tarzan sounds? No, I don't know. You tell me. I don't know what is Tarzan the Wonder Car. I don't know. Only Tarzan I know is Tarzan the Wonder Car. All of you. It is called as pneumatophore. So students, tell me, difficult question or easy question? NEET 2024 question, difficult or easy question? Easy question, pneumatophores. Next question, the roots that originate from the base of the stem is called as what? Base of the stem. Primary, prop, lateral, fibrous root. This is a NEET 2020 question. NEET 2020 question, all of you. Tell me. What is the answer? All of you will tell easy, no? Exam, you'll be like, oh, pressure, I cannot answer. Super pressure. Students, in the examination, the only reason you get so much of pressure is because you are not well prepared with the help of atmosphere of the examination. That fear of examination will only go when you do enough of mock test. I've been telling my students all this while, you need to practice at least more than 50 mock tests. 50 mock tests. Then only your NEET exam will become easy for you. Okay. Base of the stem is fibrous root. Beautiful. Next question you read. Pneumatophores occurs in. Where do they occur in? Submerged hydrophytes or halophytes? This is the two main confusion for you. Remember students, it is not submerged hydrophytes because that is completely different. Okay. Marshy areas is different. Okay. Marshy area is different. Okay. Tell me what is the answer now. Halophytes, exactly. Halophytes are the saline conditions in which oxygen is very less. So all of you are able to answer this question very easily right now because there is no pressure on your head. Right. But in examination, can you see here? 70% students could only answer this. Rest could not answer. Why? Because they are not well prepared. Okay. Next question you see. It's a very easy, it may seem very easy question. All of you can answer this right now. Answer. Sweet potato is a modification of. You might wonder, sir, is it adventitious root or a taproot? This confusion will come to you. In examination. Adventitious root or taproot. But if you are my student, and if you have written the notes with me, you will tell me easily, sir, storage, taproot, adventitious roots. Adventitious we learnt about sweet potato. We learnt about sweet potato here. Can you see? Sweet potato. So notes are important. That's why notes are important. Okay. What is the answer now? Adventitious roots. Adventitious roots is the answer. B for Baswasar in the chat, all of you. B for Baswasar. Beautiful. Next question you see now. See? And students, all of these questions I am not making. They are not easy questions. All of these questions which I am teaching in the class are what? NEET previous year questions. So this is the level of questions which you can expect in your examination. And if you are able to solve these questions from my preparation right here, proof. You're on the right track. Okay. This question. Root hair develops from the region of. I told you. Where is the root hair coming from? The beard. Where is the beard coming from? Mature person. Region of maturation. Yes. Region of maturation. Yes or no? Region of maturation. Region of maturation. Yes. So, with that, some questions are done. So after every concept, we will do some questions. Agree? Yes or no? Yes or no, quickly? After every single one small set of concept, we will take some questions and we'll solve some questions. Beautiful, beautiful. Now students, we will start with STEM. Ready all of you? We'll start with STEM now. STEM. S-T-E-M, STEM. Okay. Now, when I tell you about STEM, what is the first thing which comes to your mind? Close your eyes and think about a stem. Green color. It is part of root or shoot. Tell me. Is it above the ground or under the ground? Tell me that, all of you. Is it above the ground or under the ground? You will tell me, sir, obviously, what are you telling a joke? Huh? Obviously, stem is above the ground. Above the ground. Right? Stem is above the ground. It is a part of the shoot system. It is a part of shoot system. Shoot system. It is above the ground. Above the ground. It is above the ground. Okay. Now students, tell me, this was your radical. This was your radical right here. And plumule. Radical and plumule. Plumule, radical. Now tell me, where does the shoot develop from? Does the shoot develop from the plumule or radical? Simple class 10th concept. All of you should know a shoot system develops from the plumule. Develops from the plumule. Develops from the plumule. So reason I'm telling you all the simple things, I tell you why, students. Some of the students, it's very honest opinion from my side, till here in class 12th you are, or you're a dropper, what happens is lot of students skip the basics. You skip the basics and you try to learn the advanced concepts. But in my class, I know this has happened to me also. I am not telling, don't be like, sir, I know all my basics. Some here and there, you might have missed some basics in your life. So that is why, students, in my class, I always try to make you understand from the basics, because it is very true. When I was learning, I mucked up so many things and I did not realize it till very late that it is very important to make your foundations correct. So that is why in my class, we always go from basics. Always go from basics. Right? Always go from basics to advanced level. Right? To make sure everyone is on the same page with me. Okay? Because if I ask all of you right now, what is the difference between endosperm and cotyledon? Tell me, what is the difference between endosperm and cotyledon? Tell me. It is very basic, right? Very basic. All of you know endosperm and cotyledon, both is providing nutrition. Both is providing nutrition. All of you know that. But can you tell me the actual difference between endosperm and cotyledon? In which part of the plant growth they are providing nutrition? Tell me. Tell me, in which part of the plant's life they are providing nutrition? That is called as basics. So in my class, when I am teaching you this concept also, I will make sure that you will learn from basics in my class. Okay? Very good, very good. So you don't feel left out in my class. Okay? Now students, tell me. Now you tell me. This is a stem right here. We will erase this. We'll come back to this later on. Don't worry, you'll learn all this in my class eventually. Okay? This is a stem, student. This is a stem right here. On this stem, have you noticed there are some form of lines here? Some form of line structure. Somewhere you might have seen, somewhere in your life, you might have seen small lines like this. And you also might have noticed from these lines, you can see the development of a leaf. It could be opposite or it could be alternate. A leaf can be arising from this small line structure. This small line structure is nothing but called as node. It's called as what? Nodal region. Nodal region. A small line is called as node. And also understand, students, also understand, this is a node, this is a node. Between the two nodes, that is called as internode. It is called as what? Internode. So here we have nodal region. Between the two nodes is called as internodal region. And this node and internode, which was absent in the case of root, it is present in the case of stem. Yes or no? So can I write the fourth point? Can I write the fourth point? Nodes and internode. Nodes and internodes are present. Here. Nodes and internodes are present here. Now tell me, students, color of the stem. Here I have drawn brown stem. But can the color of the stem in the young plants, tell me, all of you tell me, in the young growing plant, what is the color? You don't have to by heart this, you don't have to know this. You might have seen a young growing stem and you can tell me by imagining the young growing stem, it was green color stem. But doesn't the green color stem convert into brown color stem later on because of secondary growth or whatever reasons it is? Yes. So can I tell the color of the stem? Color of the stem can vary from green to brown. Green to brown. Oh yeah, all of you, yes or no? Green to brown stem? Yes, green to brown stem. Okay, green to brown stem. Now students, tell me, in the case of your root, it was non-green. Roots were non-green, it cannot do photosynthesis, roots cannot do photosynthesis. But sometimes, have you seen the green stem? Can it do photosynthesis? Tell me, students. If a stem is green in color because of 𝐂𝐡𝐞𝐤 in dicots, that concept I'll teach you in next chapter. Okay, anatomy. The green stem, which is because of very flexible because of 𝐂𝐡𝐞𝐤, can the green stem do photosynthesis? Tell me yes or no. Green stem can do photosynthesis. Green stem can do photosynthesis. Green stem, not brown stem. Brown stem does not have chlorophyll. Okay. Now students, tell me, is the stem growing towards the sunlight? Tell me, if this is the sun right here, is it growing towards the sun? Yes, sir, it is going towards the sun. So can I tell all of you, can I tell this stem right here is positively phototropic? Positively phototropic as well as negatively geotropic in nature. Negatively geotropic. All of you. It is growing towards the sunlight and is growing away from the gravity. Away from the gravity. Done. That is all. Students, tell me, all this information all of you know already. It is in your mind right now. Also, you had it, all of you. You knew this before also. I have just written what you know. So just learn this is more than enough. Okay. Now, let's read about stem. Let's read about stem, all of you. Now, what are the features that distinguish a stem from the root? The stem, students, the stem is the ascending part of the axis bearing branches, leaf, flower and fruit. All of you know. A stem is growing on top. It has branches, leaf, develops from the plumule. All of you know, develops from the plumule of the germinating seed. The stem has nodes and internodes. Yes. Region of stem where leaves are born is called as nodal region, where leaves are arising. Yes. While internode are the portion between the two nodes. So between the two nodes is called as what? Internodal region. Yes, all of you. A stem bears bud. Oh, nice concept called as bud. Ready for this. But I'll tell you this later on. What is a bud? I'll tell you later on. Okay. Or should we explain now only? Let's understand what is a bud. Let's understand what is a bud, all of you. What is a bud? What is a bud? Understand. Understand what is a bud, all of you. Bud. Bud is nothing but. It is a compact young shoot. What is a bud, students? It's a compact, condensed, young shoot. Compact condensed young shoot. See, this is a, understand there are two types of buds. There are two types of buds. Two types of buds. One is called as apical bud. Apical bud. Concept, students, I want everyone's ultimate focus right now. Whatever you're doing, leave it aside and understand this concept. It will take you in your life very ahead. Okay. Apical bud. One is called as apical bud. The other one is called as axillary bud. Axillary bud. Understand the difference, all of you. This is a stem right here. This right here is a stem. Nodes and internodes. In the apical region or the apex region, in the apical region or apex region, we have a lot of immature leaf which is developing. Immature leaf. So in this immature region, there is a compact bud here. In the apex region, there is a bud here, also called as your SAM, shoot apical meristem. The bud present in the SAM is called as apical bud. The bud present in the growing tip or the apex is called as apical bud. Apex or apical bud, that is called as SAM region, apical bud. Now understand, what is the meaning of lateral bud? This is a stem again, stem. Nodal regions, nodal regions. In the nodal region, what do we have, students? In the nodal region, we have a leaf, all of you know. In the nodal region, we have the leaf. There is a leaf in the nodal region. Understand concept. In this nodal region, this part right here, students, this part right here is called as, leaf axis. It's called as leaf axis. Leaf axis. In this leaf axis right here, when the SAM is growing, when shoot apical meristem is growing on top, some cells are left behind. This is a line of NCERT from your anatomy chapter. Okay, understand. When the shoot apical meristem is growing on top, some cells are left behind in the leaf apex. Some cells are left behind. Some cells which are left behind in the leaf axil, those cells end up making the axillary bud. So when the SAM, shoot apical meristem, is growing on top, some cells are left behind in the leaf axis that ends up producing the axillary bud. That is the axillary bud in the leaf axil. Axillary bud. Now understand, students, this particular your axillary bud. This particularly axillary bud can develop into a branch. Eventually, like this, it can develop into a branch. Right? It can develop into a separate branch here. Or the same axillary bud can also develop into a flower. Branch or a flower. Understanding? This is the beauty. Of the axillary bud. Understanding, all of you? Axillary bud. So we have two types of buds. What is a bud? Bud is nothing but a compact condensed young shoot. Young shoot is there right here. This can develop into a young shoot. This can also develop into a young shoot. We have apical bud present at the apex. Here we have axillary bud. This axillary bud can also divide and develop into a branch, or it can develop into a flower. This axillary bud present here in the, where is it present? It is present in the leaf axis. That is called as axillary bud. Understood, all of you? So it is always important to learn the concept rather than by hearting it. And only way you can understand the concept when you visualize it. See, if I tell you randomly with my mouth, will you understand the concept now? No. So only when you visualize the concept, you can understand in biology or botany. Okay. Now let's come back here. And read the lines of NCERT. And all of you know this. This is the stem. It has bud here. Can you see bud here? in the leaf axil. Leaf axil bud is here. Nodal region, we have leaf arising. Internode between the two nodes is called as what? Internode, right here. Internode right here. So, a bud. The stem bears bud, which may be terminal or axillary. See, it can be terminal on top, terminal apex on top, or it could be axillary bud in the side. Stem is generally green color. All of you know this. When young and later become woody and dark brown later on. The main function of stem is spreading out branches, wisdom, prosperity, and bears flowers and fruit. It conducts water, all of you know, minerals and photosynthate. Tell me students, how is the branch able to conduct water? Is it because of a special type of complex tissue called as what? Tell me in the chat. Tell me. The water conduction is happening because of a special tissue called as what? Xylem or phloem. In the chat, all of you. Water is conducted by xylem. Photosynthate, the food is transported by phloem. Some stems perform the function of storage, support, protection, and vegetative propagation. All that we will learn in today's class. Done. Okay. Now. We come back to the NCERT lines, that is stem modification. Functions I already told you, so let's not discuss that. Can we start stem modification now, students? Can we now start with the stem modification? Xylem for water, phloem for food. Can we start now the stem modification? Tell me quickly, all of you. Can we start stem modification? Now, students, your NCERT for stem modification, they have given the entire description of different stem modification very vaguely. Like if you read the paragraph, you can see so many things given all together, and it becomes very difficult to understand each one of them categorically. For example, randomly they'll tell you first underground stem, then tell you subaerial stem, then they'll tell you aerial stem without even mentioning the difference. So, but in my class, one kuti break you want. Let's take a break after stem. Students, let's take a small kuti break after stem modification. Thumbs up. Yes. Okay. Now in NCERT it has become written very vaguely. Randomly you can see, suddenly you can see aerial, subaerial, and underground stem. Let's not do that here. What we will do right now is we will try to separately classify them and then understand. Shall we do that? We will categorically write down what is the meaning of underground, what is the meaning of subaerial, what is the meaning of aerial modification. Okay, aerial modification. Understand the concept, all of you. Okay. Now, stem modification. The stem modification be divided into underground, subaerial, and aerial stem, subaerial stem, and underground stem. Ready, all of you? Tell me. Ready, all of you? Tell me. Can we start? Now, students? First, we'll start with the underground stem now. Okay. Now, understand, all of you. As the word itself says, as the term is only saying underground stem. Tell me, where do you think we'll find the stem? Inside the ground or above the ground? Tell me. Underground stem, do you find it inside or outside? All of you tell me. So obviously, your underground stem will be inside the soil. That's right. The stem itself is inside the soil. If it is inside the soil, mostly they are non-green. I'll give you a quick example which will help you to visualize this. All of you know what this is? Students? Right here. This right here is nothing but your turmeric, which you put on all the wound and everything. Doesn't it look like your brown color, underground stem, non-green color? Yes. Non-green, underground stem. Turmeric is a stem which you put it in the on the wound. When you fall down, no, you when you do turmeric, it will burn like hell, but you'll be fine. Okay, turmeric, underground stem. Okay, underground stem. Okay. They're mostly non-green and underground stem, and the main function is usually storage and vegetative propagation. Vegetative propagation. Vegetative propagation. Okay, vegetative propagation. Understand now. Now under underground stem. Underground stem. We'll write down now. Underground stem. Okay. The first one is called as rhizome. The first one is called as rhizome. First one is called as rhizome. Understand all of you? Understand. Okay. Rhizome is a type of stem, underground stem, which is running horizontal to the soil surface. Example, it grows horizontal. Your rhizome grows horizontal. Grows horizontal. It grows horizontal in origin. It grows horizontal in origin. Example, can you see here, students? This right here is the example of rhizome. Example of rhizome. Tell me, this particular ginger or turmeric. All of you drink ginger tea, no? Ginger, you might have seen ginger garlic paste which you add to biryani and all. Ginger. Ginger is an example of a rhizome, which is an underground stem. Underground stem. Gingiber officinalis. Yes. Underground stem. If you look at the stem right here, tell me, students, does the stem has node and internode? Yes or no? Tell me, does the stem has node and internode? You tell me yes, sir. See here. On the ginger, have you seen the scaly lines? Have you seen it? Have you ever held a ginger? And on the ginger, can you see a small scales on the ginger? Those scales are nothing but node and internode on the stem. Can you see, students? On this particular ginger, we have scales. The scales are nothing but node and internodal regions. Node and internodal regions on the ginger, and especially at the nodal region. For example, this right here is a nodal region. Node. Didn't all of you learn from the nodal region? From the nodal region, did we see the leaf arising? Did we see that? Nodal region? Yes, leaf arising at the nodal region. The node. See here, at the nodal region, a leaf is arising from the nodal region. Leaf is arising at the nodal region. Okay. Now, students, tell me, what is the meaning of adventitious roots? A root which is arising from any part of the plant other than the radical. Adventitious roots is what? A root which is arising from any part of the plant other than the radical. So if a root is developing from the stem, can I call it adventitious roots? Adventitious roots. You might have seen, right? You might have seen on the ginger or turmeric, you can see a small root hair like structure, small root on the ginger. You might have seen that right here is the adventitious roots. So it's all about imagining. It's all about imagining that you might have seen a ginger. On the ginger we have nodes and internodes. On the ginger we have something called as small fine hair like structure developing. That is called as adventitious roots on the ginger. And at the nodal region we have the leaf arising at the nodal region. That is the beautiful example of rhizome. Example is what? Ginger and turmeric. Ginger and turmeric is the simple example. Ginger and turmeric. Now, right, what if, don't remind me of gingerly oil, I'll start laughing. Don't remind me of gingerly oil, all of you, please. That is one funny thing. Okay. Okay. One more example I'll tell you, you will become shocked. The other example of your horizontal stem, is banana? Is banana plant? How many of you know this? Tell me. How many of you know this? Banana is also an example of rhizome. Example of rhizome and sucker both. Rhizome and sucker both. Okay. Okay. I'll show you the example, students. See this. All of you might have seen this banana plant, typical banana plant. Yes, right. In this typical banana plant, if you notice, this right here is called as pseudostem. This right here is called as a fake stem. Fake stem, also called as pseudostem. Pseudostem. Okay, pseudostem. This right here is called as pseudostem. This one, which you see on the outside the soil. Outside the soil is called as pseudostem. Okay. Now, if you look underground, inside the soil, we have the underground. Can you see underground stem? Underground stem. This right here is called as the rhizome. Underground horizontal stem. Can you see? This is the rhizome. Is the rhizome right here. Rhizome right here. Underground horizontal stem. Actual stem is here. But do you also see from this underground stem obliquely something is growing and one more stem is arising from underground? There is underground. It is growing. This underground stem right here, this one right here, which is growing upward, this is called as what? This is called as sucker. That is called as sucker. Sucker. That also is a type of stem modification. That also is a type of stem modification. Understood, all of you? So banana is also example of rhizome. Banana also is example of rhizome. Students, how many of you seen harvesting? Tell me, how many of you seen the harvesting of banana plant? Do you know, all of you should know this, let me tell you also. When you you don't take the banana plant and you just remove this and you don't take the bunch of bananas. That never happens. You might have seen in the farm, or you might have seen in some video, you might have seen, you don't just cut the bunch of bananas and take it and sell it. You might have seen what farmers do. Farmers will directly cut the stem only when they are trying to grow the banana plant. You might have seen they take a big machete, one big sword they'll take and completely cut the stem only. You might have seen that. They completely cut the stem only. Do you know why? First main reason is because bananas do not have seed, parthenocarpy, no seeds, so does not require. The second main reason is that the farmers know it. The farmers know it that the banana is actually growing underground. It has an underground stem. Farmers are so smart that they know that there's the underground stem. Even if I cut the stem right here, it will, one more new banana plant will grow because of the sucker, the underground stem modification. You might think they do not know that all this, but farmers know it. Farmers are very smart. They know that even if I just cut the entire stem, it will grow from underground. Okay? So that is a beautiful fact about your banana plant. And from that time you might notice, I am calling it as banana plant, as not banana tree. All of you noticed by now that I am calling it a banana plant and not a banana tree. Why? Because it cannot be called a tree. Because a tree should have what? A tree should have secondary growth and a thick stem. It should have something called as trunk. But this right here does not have a trunk. It has a pseudostem. There is no trunk here. So that is why students never call it as a banana tree. It should be called as a banana plant. Banana plant. Banana plant. Banana plant. Not a tree. It is not a tree. Understood, all of you? See students, you are learning all this new information. Try to tell this information to someone else. They will also appreciate it. Share the knowledge. Share the knowledge always. Okay? Now, first rhizome is done. Any doubt in rhizome, students? Any doubt in rhizome? Any doubt in rhizome? Tell me. Now the second one is called as corm. Not corn. Corm. M. Corm. Okay, corm. Now, corm is also underground stem. Corm is also called as the underground stem. But unlike your rhizome, which is growing horizontally, corm is growing vertically. Vertically. Now you will tell me, sir, all the roots grow vertically. All the roots grow vertically. But the main difference here is that the corm root is completely condensed. Completely condensed, and they are short. Short and condensed roots. Short and condensed roots. Diagram I'll show you, you'll get a better idea. I'll show you a diagram, you'll get a better idea. Friends, can you see this? This is your roots of colocasia. This right here is the roots of colocasia. Can you see? They are short condensed roots. They are short condensed roots. Can you see? This is the roots of colocasia. Roots of colocasia, short but condensed roots. They are growing vertically. Can you see? They are growing vertically. They are trying to grow vertically, short and condensed roots. So the next time, try to imagine these roots when you think about corm. Corm. Okay, short and condensed roots. See here, they are short but condensed roots. Do they have interred and nodal regions? Yes, obviously it is a root. Obviously it is a stem. It is a stem which will have nodes and internodes. I think I told root. It is a stem. Sorry, it is a stem. Okay, used for eating. They eat this. Okay, short but condensed stem, not root. Sorry, short but condensed stem. Node and internode. Node and internode is there. Okay. Underground stem. Underground stem. Underground stem. Okay. Example is, you just now learned colocasia, right? You just now saw colocasia. All of you saw colocasia. All of you seen colocasia, right? Colocasia looks something like this. Have you seen this plant in the neighboring, surroundings? You might have seen this, right? You make pakoda out of this. You take this leaf, cut the leaf, roll it into a batter, and put it in oil. Nice and bhaji you will get. Bhaji. Okay, this is called as colocasia. And you might have noticed the colocasia usually have a very thick cuticle. They have a thick cuticle, and that is why every single time a water droplet is dropping here, every single time a water droplet is coming here, it will slide over. The water droplet will completely slide over. That is colocasia. Okay, colocasia. Where were we? Colocasia. Colocasia. Done. Colocasia done. Colocasia. The other example is Zamikand. Zamikand is the other example. Zamikand is the other example. Okay. Zamikand will come other example. Now, our next one is called as what? Now, rhizome is done, corm is done. The next one, all of you know. The next one, all of you are already aware, which all of you love. Tell me, which is your favorite vegetable? Tell me in the chat, all of you. Which is the favorite vegetable? Hello, Gautam. Thank you so much. Tell me, which is your favorite vegetable, all of you? I know that one vegetable will always come. The favorite vegetable all of you love, that is nothing but potato. Potato is a type of stem. Your life is a lie. Yes. Potato is a type of stem which comes under tuber. Tuber. Understand, students. Understand. It comes under tuber. This is a soil. All of you think potato is the root. No. Potato is the stem. Potato is the stem. Brinjal. Very nice. Brinjal is very nice. Okay. So this is the particular soil here. There will be an underground stem. This is an underground stem. Underground stem. Okay. Underground stem. Tell me, a stem will have nodes and internodes? Yes, it will have nodes and internodes. From this nodal region, can we have some branches coming out? Yes. Branches are coming out from the nodal region. Branches coming from nodal region, because in the nodal region we have axillary bud. From axillary bud we can see the branches coming out. Lateral branches. Lateral branches, not roots. It is a branch, not a lateral root, because it is the underground stem modification. Stem. Now, at the end of the lateral branch, in the terminal position, there can be something called as your potato. Potato will be like this. Terminally, they will be present at the end of terminal branch or lateral branch. At the end of it, you can see the potato, the aalugadde. Okay. Friends, what do you call potato in your language? Also tell me, I want to know. In Kannada, we call it aalugadde, but in Tamil, Telugu, or Kannada, Hindi, I think we call it. Oh my God, I forgot what it's called in Hindi. It is called as aloo. Yes, aloo. Aloo ki sabji. Yes, it is called as aloo. Okay, in Hindi. Yes, students, this is your potato. Colocation done. See here. This is your underground. This is aerial stem. It has aerial stem. It has underground stem. In the underground stem, can you see at the terminal lateral branches? In the lateral branches, can we see tuber arising? Yes. That is called as tuber. This is called as mother tuber. You have small daughter tubers at the terminal position of the lateral branches. Terminal position of lateral branches. Bengal also same. Nice. Nice. Now, students. Now, since it is a stem, will it have nodes and internodes? Tell me yes or no in the chat, all of you. Since this is a stem right here, it will have nodes and internodes. Yes, it will have node and internode. Now, one such node here, node is called as, from this nodal region, can we have bud? So all of you know bud also. All of you know what is a bud. Here, bud is called as eye of potato. Eye of potato, that is called as a bud. And you might have seen this. You keep that aloo or potato in some corner of the kitchen. When no one is bothering, only cockroach is going there. All the other vegetables are nicely kept in fridge, but potato nicely thrown somewhere in the corner of the kitchen. But after some time, you might have seen small eyes coming out of the potato. That is called as a bud, also called as eye of potato. Now, if you cut this bud and you keep it in water or keep it in soil, it will grow into a new plant. Because what is a bud, students? Bud is nothing but a compact young shoot. So bud can easily grow into a plant. Done. It can grow into a new plant. That is your tuber. Okay, tuber. Potato. It's a simple example. Potato. No. The last one is called as bulb. The last one is called as bulb. Bulb. Okay. The example for bulb, students, the example for bulb is none other than is your onion and garlic. If this is your typical onion leaves, this is the onion, right? This is the onion right here. Here we have the leaves rising on top. Leaves are coming on top. This is also the leaf. This also is the leaf. Both are leaf only. Both are leaf. In this particular onion, in the base, you might notice there is some round disc-like structure which you cut and throw. You tell there is cancer there. You tell, right? In this particular region right here, you tell cancer is there. Cancer will come if you eat it. That white color part which you cut and throw, that region is actually the stem. That is the stem. That is the stem region. From the stem region, you can see the roots also arising at one point. Because root, stem, leaves. This right here is the condensed stem which you cut and throw. That is the stem region. That is the stem region. Here, see this. Can you see this? This right here is the reduced stem. This is the leaf. And we have the roots arising from here. Roots arising from here. That is called as reduced condensed stem. Reduced condensed stem, the 4 different types of underground stem modification. Underground stem modification. Did you understand what we learned till now, students? We learned about rhizome. Example was turmeric. Example was your turmeric and ginger. Yes. We learned about ginger and turmeric in your rhizome. Zamikhand was an example of your corm. Potato was an example of tuber. Yes. Turmeric is an example of your, again, rhizome. Yes or no? 𝐂𝐡𝐞𝐤 was an example of your corm. So that is the end of underground stem. Now we have more to go. Now we will start something called a subaerial. Ready? Students, let me tell you one more thing. Students, you might think that, sir, why are you teaching so detail? Why are you drawing everything? Why are you showing so many images? The reason I've told you repeatedly over and over. Right? Over and over I've been telling you the same reason. This is the time where you are very serious and understand and learn. And the same thing cannot be done during exam time. It becomes very difficult for you. It becomes very difficult for you to understand that, going so much detailed, going 6 hours, 7 hours during the exam time, when 1 month is there for examination. That time is not the time to learn detailed wise. That is the time where you solve mock paper. That is the time where you do smart revision. That is the time where you do something called as PYQ practice. This is the right time to do detailed lectures. Okay? Ready here. The eating part of the onion leaves are yes. So what you eat, I'll tell you. What you eat from the onion, right? That right there is nothing but the leaf. You eat the leaf, the fleshy leaf modification for storage. That is called as fleshy leaf. Okay, fleshy leaf. Now students, now we will start something called as subaerial modification. Subaerial, very simple. Subaerial is very, very simple. Okay, subaerial, very simple. Understand, all of you. Understand. Under subaerial, first we will understand something called as runner. Runner. What is a runner, students? What is a runner? For example, students, this right here is the soil. Soil right here. And here we have the particular plant growing. We have a plant growing here. And this is the stem. This is the stem right here. This is the stem right here. Tell me, students, can the stem has nodal regions? Yes, it can have nodal regions. Here is a node. From this nodal region, we can see some form of lateral stem growing out. Lateral stem is growing from the nodal region. On the lateral stem also, this is a lateral stem. From this lateral stem, here also we have the nodal regions. Here. Node. This is a node again. From every node, at every node you can see one more stem. And at every nodal region where we see a stem, we can see the development of roots. This right here is a simple example. This right here is a simple example of a runner. The runner will be parallel to the ground. It will be running, and every single time the lateral branch is touching the ground, you can see the roots coming there. Now tell me, everyone in the chat, which type of roots this is? Is it taproot or fibrous root, or is it called as adventitious roots? Obviously, the roots are arising from other part of the plant other than the radicle. So can I call this as adventitious roots, all of you? Yes, adventitious roots. Adventitious roots. Yes or no? See here, students. In the case of strawberry and grass, and even oxalis, can you see here? At the nodal regions, we are developing a root here. And this is the lateral branch. This right here is the lateral branch. Why branch? Because this is a stem. From the lateral branch, we have a stem growing. And every single time there is a nodal region. We can see the development of what? We can see development of roots. We can see the development of roots from there. See this, all of you. Example I'll show you. Can all of you see this? This is an example. This is an example. The strawberry is a typical example of a runner. This, can you see? This is the main plant. That is the old plant. Old plant. From the old plant, we have a lateral branch. Can you see this lateral branch? This is the lateral branch. Every single time there is a nodal region. Nodal region, a plant is arising. Again, the lateral branch will arise from here. Every single time there is a nodal region, one more plant will arise. One more plant will arise. Similarly, which we drew here. Every single time there's a lateral branch and there's a node, a new plant is arising there. New plant is arising from the nodal regions. That is a typical example of a runner. Lateral branch, every single time there's a nodal region, a root is arising from there. That is an example of a runner. Now, what are the actual examples? Actual examples is nothing but your strawberry and grasses. Okay, and grasses. Even oxalis. All of you know, right? Oxalis. What is oxalis? Oxalis is nothing but have you seen this typical leaf, right? Have you seen this leaf? The 3-leaf clover. It looks something like this. You might have seen this, students. You might have seen this. This right here is the oxalis. Is the oxalis. Okay, that is the oxalis. Okay, that right there is the oxalis. This is the runner. This is the example of runner. Runner. It is running. Okay, runner is running. Runner is nicely running. Can you see? It's running. Now, understand what is the meaning of stolon now. Understand what is the meaning of stolon. Your stolon is very similar. Stolon is very similar to your runner. Where is the major difference? Your stolon knows physics or chemistry or maths. All of you know what is a sine wave? Tell me, raise your hands. How many of you know what is a sine wave? How many of you know a sine wave? This is the soil. This is the soil here. Soil. So in the case of your stolon, it is when you steal something, do you run away? Tell me, when you steal something, do you run away? Yes, you run away. So here also, your stolon is stealing and it is hiding somewhere. So this particular plant has a lateral branch. It is growing underground, again coming up. Okay. So when this happens, this is called as a stolon. And this point here, we can see the formation of roots again. We can see the formation of roots here. Every single time it touches the ground, we can see root formation. And this is the arch formation. So this is an example of a stolon. Stolon will always grow in an arc. Never anything. Yes, you should never steal, but this should happen. This is the example of stolon. Can you see here? This is the soil. Here, it is growing away from the soil and it is going back again. It is going under again. It will go down, it will come up. That is the example of a stolon. This is how stolon looks like. What is the example? Example of stolon is very simple. Mint and jasmine. Mint and jasmine. Mint and jasmine is the example of stolon. Okay. Now, next one, students. Next one is called as offset. Offset is typically found in the case of your aquatic plants. Tell me, how many of you seen this? How many of you have seen this, students? Tell me. How many of you have seen this in real life? Recently, when I went on a drive, I saw this very recently. I saw this. This is called as pistia. This is called as pistia. Looks very beautiful. It is growing in plant nicely. It is growing in water nicely. This is called as pistia. Called as pistia. Pistia and 𝐴cornea. All of you know terror of Bengal. Terror of Bengal is called as 𝐴cornea. Okay. 𝐴cornea and pistia are examples of offset. Examples of offset. This is your 𝐴cornea. This is called as pistia. Pistia and 𝐴cornea. So understand what happens here. Understand what happens here in case of 𝐴cornea and pistia. How are they growing? How are they growing, students? How are they growing? Can you see here, students? In pistia and 𝐴cornea, can you see here something called as rosette of leaves? Rosette of leaves. Leaves are forming a complete group here. This also is called as rosette of leaves. Rosette of leaves. And can you see a bunch of root? This is called as tuft of roots. Tuft of roots. Tuft of roots. So in the case of your offset, you can see a rosette of leaves and a tuft of roots. And very important line of NCERT. Can you see this middle part? That is called as, this is a node. Only this is since this is a stem, it is a stem. In the nodal region, we have leaf. Between the two nodes is called as internode. Internode. So in the case of your entire pistia and 𝐴cornea, which is a type of your offset, internode is very short. Internode is very short. Right? Internode is very short here. Okay, internode is very short. That is why they look as big bunch of fancy things. Internode is very short here. See here also. Can you see here, students? Offset. Rosette of leaves, tuft of roots. Rosette of leaves, tuft of roots. Example is pistia and 𝐴cornea. Pistia and 𝐴cornea are the examples. Okay. Break after this. Chill. Don't worry. I am only not getting tired. Why are you getting tired? Okay. Now, pistia and 𝐴cornea. Okay, that is the example of offset. Beautiful, right? Offset. Pistia and 𝐴cornea. Offset. Now, students, next we have something called as sucker. Okay, sucker. Amazing. Sucker. Understand sucker. Sucker, what happens is, okay, I'll show you the diagram, then I'll teach you. Okay. Can you see this diagram, students? All of you can see this diagram of chrysanthemum. In sucker, what is happening is the underground stem. Understand the underground. So can you see this underground stem? Underground stem is growing obliquely upwards. Can you see here? It is growing obliquely. This is called as obliquely. Obliquely upwards. Underground stem is growing obliquely, then it is growing on top. It is growing on top. That is called as sucker. When you are laterally, it is growing here and it is growing on top. That is called as a sucker. Similarly, didn't we observe in the case of your banana right here? Didn't we observe that in the case of banana here? See here. Here also we observed. Here we have the obliquely it's growing and then it is growing on top. Obliquely side lateral branch, it is growing on top. That is called as a sucker. Same thing you can also notice in the case of your pineapple. So in the case of pineapple also, you can see a new pineapple is coming. New pineapple plant is coming from the below part. That is called as your sucker. Pineapple. So what are the examples here? The examples here for your sucker is banana, pineapple, chrysanthemum. Banana, pineapple and chrysanthemum. Okay. So banana, chrysanthemum and pineapple, the three examples of sucker. Example of offset was pistia and 𝐴cornea. Example of stolen was mint and jasmine. Example of runner was what? Strawberry, oxalis and grasses. All of these examples should be noted in your mind, like on print it should be in your mind. Okay. Done? Then all of you, that's how it should be known. That's how it should be known to each and every one of you. Subaerial. Now students, subaerial is done. Now we come to something called as aerial modification. Understand students, beautiful concept of aerial modification. The first thing which you learn here under aerial modification, the first thing which you understand in aerial modification is something called as phylloclad. Understand, phylloclad. Phylloclad. So what exactly happens in the case of phylloclad? Okay, so it is a stem. Okay, we have stem here. Okay, here we have something called a stem. So what happens to stem is the stem actually becomes very fleshy. It becomes very fleshy and green color. It becomes fleshy and becomes green in color. Fleshy and green color. Fleshy, thick, green color stem. But tell me students, if a stem is green color, can it do photosynthesis? Yes sir, it can do photosynthesis. It can do photosynthesis. Yes, it can do photosynthesis. Here, there are two types of phylloclad. In your syllabus. The first one, when the stem is very flat. Other one is stem is cylindrical. The stem is cylindrical. Other one is the stem is little cylindrical in shape. When the stem is flat, you can see the stem is very flat and it can do photosynthesis. The phylloclad, the example of flat stem is called as opentia. Okay, opentia. When the stem is cylindrical, that is called as euphorbia. Clear all of you? The stem is cylindrical, it is called as euphorbia. This is a typical example of a phylloclad. First one done. Second one, students. Oh, it's not given. Space is not given. Second one. Now, second one is formation of tendrils. Which tendrils? Stem tendrils. Stem tendrils. Understand, students. Understand. All of you know this is the stem. This is the stem right here. On this stem right here, students, we have something called as, what is this? This is a nodal region. On this nodal region, we have the formation of leaf. On the nodal region. Formation of leaf is happening. This structure right here is called as what? It's called as leaf axis. In this leaf axis right here, I told you there is accumulation of a cell called as axillary bud formation. Here we have the axillary bud. So understand, students, what exactly happens. In the case of your tendrils. In the case of stem tendrils. What is happening? In the case of tendrils, the axillary bud, students, the axillary bud is getting modified into tendrils to form tendrils. The axillary bud is getting modified into tendrils. Axillary bud is getting modified into tendrils. Axillary bud. Examples, very simple examples again. Examples can be your cucumber. Examples can be cucumber or cucumber. Yes, cucumber, pumpkin, grapevine. Yes, grapevine. Grapevines. Yes, grapevines. Also the watermelon. All right, here only. Also the watermelon. You can see such tendrils. I'll show you here. Are you able to see, students? Are you able to see them? Here, in watermelon, you can see from the axillary bud. Watermelon, you can see from the axillary bud right here. This is the leaf. Leaf is arising this side. Leaf is arising this side. This is called as leaf axis. Leaf axis. Leaf axis. Can you see the tendrils coming out? Tendrils are coming out from the leaf axis right here. In the case of watermelon. In the case of grapevine, see, from the leaf tendrils are rising. Leaf tendrils. In the case of grapevine. Right? No. That was tendrils. Now understand the next one. Understand the next one, students. Again, students, this right here is your stem. It's a stem. In this stem, we have the nodal regions, and we have the nodal region. We have a leaf. We have a leaf at the nodal region. Okay. Here we have something called as axillary bud. Axillary bud. Now, if this axillary bud right now, present in the nodal region, okay, this can get converted into a thorn. Can you see this? It can get converted into a thorn for protection. Can you see this? All of you can see this? Axillary bud modified into woody straight thorn. Axillary bud is modified into woody thorn. Woody thorn here. Woody thorn or pointed thorn. Or a pointed thorn here. Pointed thorn. Okay. Example is your bougainvillea and citrus. Bougainvillea and citrus. Citrus, one. I'll show you the diagram, students. I'll show you the diagrams. See this. This is your opentia, that is phylloclade. This is your tendrils from the axillary bud tendril formation. Cucurbita, pumpkin, watermelon, grapevine. This is your thorn in the case of lemon, that is citrus, and in the case of beautiful bougainvillea, you can see. Beautiful bougainvillea, can you see the thorns coming out? Pumpkin, can you see pumpkin? You can see the tendrils. Tendrils in watermelon. Tendrils, see in the case of your bougainvillea, can you see the spines? You can see the spines here. Spines. In the case of citrus, can you see the spines? Here. Citrus, we can see the spines here. Spines here. Okay. Now, students, tell me one question. What is this structure right here? This pointed thing, can you see a spine? What is this? Is it a leaf or is it a stem? Quickly in the chat. Stem and a leaf. Sir, can you explain the difference between bract and bracteolate? Very simple. Bract will be present just below the sepals. And we have bracteolate there. Below, at the end of it, you will have bracteolate there. I'll show you a diagram. Next question, next chapter, next class, I'll bring you a diagram. When I teach you leaf, you have just below the sepal, we can have one leaf. At the bottom of the stalk of the leaf, that is, at the bottom of your pedestal. So, at the bottom of the stalk of your leaf, you can have one more leaf there. That is called as bracteolate. This right here is a leaf. This right here is a leaf. This entire thing, can you see? This is called as a stem. Okay. Cylindrical. This is euphorbia. Euphorbia. This is opentia. Opentia. Phylloclade. Okay. Students, that was your entire stem modification. Did we go in complete detail of it? Did we learn something called as rhizome? Students, now I will ask you questions. Ready, all of you, rapid fire? I want everyone to try answering the examples in the chat, all of you. We will start. Okay. From starting, I will ask you one examples. You have to suppose to tell me. Okay. First one, tell me the example of rhizome, everyone in the chat. Example of rhizome, we learned it is an underground horizontal stem. We learned there is something called as your turmeric and ginger, and banana also. Rhizome. Tuber, the example was potato. Potato was the example there. Then we learned about corm. In corm, we learned that it is a short condensed stem. Example of 𝐂𝐡𝐞𝐤 𝐎𝐿 𝐎𝐿. Then we learned about bulb. In bulb, we learned that there is a reduced stem called as what? In the case of your onion and garlic, done, underground. In subaerial, we learned about runner which is growing horizontally. Example was what? Strawberry, grasses, oxalis. Then we learned about stolon, which is going in an arc, sine wave shape. In stolon, we learned example of mint and jasmine, all of you. Then we learned about offset. In offset, we learned about, we have something called as rosette of leaves and tuft of roots. Example is what? Pistia and eichhornia. Then we learned about sucker. 3 examples in sucker: chrysanthemum, pineapple and banana. Chrysanthemum, pineapple and banana in the case of your sucker, where the stem is underground, subaerial stem is growing obliquely upwards. Then we come to aerial. In tendril, students, in tendril we learned about your cucurbits, right? Pumpkin, cucumber, grapevine, right? So we learned about all that here. Okay. Then we learned about thorn. Thorn in the case of your citrus and bougainvillea. Here we learned. Then we came to phylloclad. In phylloclad we learned about the photosynthetic stem. In phylloclad we learned about 2 examples. When the stem is flat, it's called as opentia. When the stem is cylindrical, it's called as euphorbia. Here. This is tendrils. This is your tendril and thorn. Here we have your phyllodes. Flat opentia, cylindrical, euphorbia. Beautiful. Class is going so nice today. I'm so proud of all of you. Now students, can we read the stem modification and finish it off before we take the break? Let's read the lines of NCERT, all of you. Ready for reading lines of NCERT? Ready? Modification of stem. Can we start modification of stem now? I believe till now all of you have understood the concept. Let's check whatever we have studied, is it NCERT or not? Can we study now? Can we see whatever we have studied till now, is it part of NCERT or not? Simple. Okay. The stem, all of you should read with me. All of you read with me, then we will take. Okay. Smooth as flower. Nice. Now, the stem may not always be typical like what they are expected to be. They are not typical, they can change. Okay. They are modified to perform different functions. Underground, see, is given here. Underground stem. Underground stem like your stem of potato, tuber, ginger and turmeric, rhizome, zamikhand and colocasia, corm are modified into store food in them for storing the food. Done. Storing the food. They also act like organs of perennation. What is the meaning of organ of perennation? It means they can help in vegetative propagation. We mentioned that in the starting only. Yes or no? If you don't remember, I'll show you again and again. I told you in the starting of underground stem only, we learned it. Starting of underground stem only, we wrote it, right? Oh, so much we have learned today. See here. Underground stem, inside the soil, storage, non-green, and vegetative propagation, organ of perennation, vegetative propagation. Okay. Okay. They also act as organ of perennation to tide over the conditions unfavorable for growth. The stem tendrils, very important. Stem tendrils, not leaf tendril. Stem tendril is different from leaf tendril. Stem tendril is more branched. Okay. Now, the stem tendrils which develop from the axillary bud. Example, tell me in the chat, all of you, example. Example for stem tendril is nothing but your stem tendril example is cucurbits. Why? For climbing. cucumber, pumpkin, watermelon, and grapevine. That is stem tendrils. Stem tendril. All of you know. Tendrils for growing. Then we have axillary bud again. Axillary bud can also be modified into woody, straight, and pointed thorns, not spine. Not spine, but thorn, not a spine. Spine will come in your leaf modification. Thorn will come in your stem modification. Thorn. Thorns are found in many plants such as your citrus and bougainvillea. Citrus and bougainvillea, you will find thorns. They protect the plant from the browsing animals. Some plants of arid regions also modify the stem, flat opentia or fleshy euphorbia, cylindrical stem. That is called as what? Phylloclad. That is called as phylloclad. Okay. They contain chlorophyll and carry out photosynthesis. Phylloclad. All of you remember phylloclad? It's phylloclad. Underground stem of some plants such as grasses and strawberry. That is basically your subaerial, not underground actually, subaerial runner, right? Runner. Spread to the new niches and when older plants dies. So you learned in strawberry. In strawberry you learn that this old plant is dying, new plant is arising by running it around. Okay. Now, in plants like mint and jasmine, example of stolon, are slender lateral branches arise from the base of the main axis and after growing aerially, they ascend down, they come down. Okay. Growing aerially for some time, arch downwards to touch the ground. They arch downwards to touch the ground. See, they grow something like this. In the case of your stolon, they grow and they touch down, grow again. This is what they do. Okay, this is what they do. They keep on growing. Okay. Stem. And this is where they develop roots. Okay. Now, a lateral branch with short internode and each node bearing rosette of leaves and tuft of roots. Rosette of leaves and tuft of roots. Example is of offset. Offset right here. Offset. Found in aquatic plants like Pistia and Eichhornia. Offset. Now, in banana, pineapple and chrysanthemum, sucker, the lateral branch originates from the base and underground portion of the main stem. Underground main stem, they are getting one more stem, which grows horizontally beneath the soil and hence come out obliquely upwards, giving rise to a leafy shoot. That is, the main stem is growing under the soil. It is growing laterally. Like this. Then it is going obliquely upwards, and then it is growing into a new leafy shoot. This is called as your horizontal down, horizontally, growing obliquely, and then growing up. That is a famous example of sucker. Pineapple, chrysanthemum, and banana. Examples given here. Friends, see. Examples is given here. Runner. This is a tendril. Storage, underground. Thorn modification. And let's solve some questions now before we take a break. Ready, all of you? Ready? Solve this question. Let's see how many of you can solve. This such a difficult questions. Okay. Time starts now. Which of the following statement is not correct? Statement is not correct, all of you. Not correct statement. Is not correct. Rhizome is condensed form of stem. Yes, condensed. It is condensed. It is horizontal. Apical bud in rhizome always remains above the ground. Yes, apical bud comes out and it is growing into a new plant. That's what you see. Rhizome is aerial with no distinct nodes and internodes. Let me, students, do you see nodes and internodes in the case of rhizome? Yes, you see. You might have seen in the rhizome there is nodes and internodes are present. That is present. So this can I tell this statement is incorrect statement? Yes, it's incorrect statement. The rhizome is thick, prostrate and branched. Yes. So what is the answer? Option number 3. Because we know rhizome is not aerial. Rhizome is what? Underground. is underground stem, not aerial. Does it have nodes and internodes? Yes, it has nodes and internodes. But here it says no. So can I tell this statement is going to be absolutely wrong, because in the rhizome, which is growing horizontally, which can be branching, you might have seen ginger can be branched. Ginger can be branched. It can be branched. You will see nodes and internodes. But here it says no nodes and internodes. So third statement is wrong. Third statement is absolutely wrong. Next question. In bougainvillea, thorns are modification of. In bougainvillea, thorns are modification of stipule, adventitious roots, stem or leaf. All of you know. It is actually the axillary bud. But axillary bud is present on the stem. Axillary bud is present on the stem. Axillary bud is present on the stem. So 3 option. Next question. The stem modified into flat green organ performing the function of leaf is known as flat green organ. Is it called as phyllodes, phyloclad, scales, or cladodes? Or cladodes? Phyllodes or phyloclad? Tell me, students, quickly in the chat. It is a phyloclad. Phyllodes I'll teach you later on. That will come in leaf. That will come in leaf. Right? Phyloclad, not phyllodes. Phyloclad. Entire thing is coming. Phyllodes will run in leaf. Okay. Beautiful. In ginger, which the propagation occurs through? NEET 2015 question. In ginger, all of you know it is rhizome. Ginger, all of you know it is rhizome. Beautiful. An example of edible underground stem. See, carrot is a root, not a stem. Groundnut is a seed, not a stem. Sweet potato is also a adventitious root. Adventitious root, taproot, seed. Not a stem. It is not a stem. Only your potato is a stem. Only your potato is a stem. Underground stem. Potato is a stem. Understood? Potato is a stem. Potato is a stem. Okay. So with that, one more big section of your stem is done. Okay. Done. One big stem part is over. Now, before we start the leaf, let's take a amazing 20 minutes break. Let's take a 20 minutes break. D for Diksha sir, huh? That joke never gets over. Okay. Okay, before we start the leaf, let's take a 20 minutes break. I will also go sit for some time and relax my legs for some time nicely. And all of you run and eat your food and come. Okay. After that, I want you to come back. Why? Because we will do leaf again that time. Okay. So break, we will take a break now. Oops. We will take a break. It's 37 till 8 o'clock. So till 9 o'clock you can take a break. Till 9 o'clock you can take a small break. Okay. It's 8:40 almost. 50, 60. So 9 o'clock we'll start again. Okay. Class resume at 9 p.m. Okay. Done. So come back at 9 p.m. again after you eat some food. Or I know half of you will be eating food while watching lecture only. I know. Half of you will be eating the food while watching lecture also. I know. But take a nice break. Give some rest to your brain. Let the brain relax a little. And then we will start the next part of the chapter. That is the leaf. Okay. Let's go. Let's go all of you. Class resume at 9 p.m. Yeah, I'll eat my breakfast. I'll eat my dinner. Don't worry. My dinner will only happen when I go to home. But right now, I'll go eat. I'll go eat, drink some water. That's all. Bye bye, all of you. Now students, can we start again with the chapter that is morphology of flowering plants with the start of the leaf now. Now in the starting of the class, we started off with root, then we did stem, now we come to the leaf. Leaf will get over very fast because it's very simple to understand. Right? It is very simple to understand. So let's go over with leaf right now, leaf. So all of you know the basic leaf, right students? All of you should be aware about the basic structure of a leaf. This is the basic structure of a leaf right here. Can you see? If you look at the basic structure of a leaf, it will have a something called as the, first of all, petiole. Petiole is basically the stalk of the leaf. Stalk of the leaf is called as petiole. Then we have the leaf base. This is called as the leaf base, which is present right below the lamina. This entire thing is called as the lamina. Entire thing is called as your lamina. Lamina. Entire thing is called as lamina. At the base of the lamina, we have the leaf base. Here we have the largest vein called as midrib, and we have multiple veins. This entire outer part is called as margin. This pointed tip, can you see? This tip is called as apex. The entire thing, students, the entire thing, the apex, the margin, the veins, the midrib or the base, entire thing is called as blade or lamina. Blade or lamina, petiole. At the base of the petiole, we have a leaf-like structure called as stipules. Leaf-like structure called as stipules. Can you see here, students? Can you see here, students? At the base of the leaf, base of the petiole, we can see the stipules. Stipules at the leaf base. Here we also have an axillary bud, all of you know. At the leaf axil, we have petiole, the stalk of the leaf. Entire thing is called as lamina. Entire thing is called as what? Lamina. Read here. Leaf is lateral, generally flattened structure borne on the stem. Yes, it is borne on the stem. It develops at the node, all of you know that, and bears a bud in its axil. And the bud which is present in the axil is called as what? Axillary bud. It is called as what? Axillary bud. All of you know that. The axillary bud later develops into a branch or a flower. All of you know that. A leaf originates from the shoot apical meristem. A leaf originates from the SAM. All of you remember, right? All of you remember that. All of you remember, if this is the stem, this is the stem, it has nodal regions and internodal region. Here we have the SAM, shoot apical meristem, also called as apical bud, right? As the shoot apical meristem is growing, leaves are produced in the nodal region. In the nodal region, leaves are produced in the nodal region. That is what is the meaning of that line. So as the SAM is growing, leaves are produced in the acropetal succession. Acropetal meaning what? Younger at the top, older at the bottom. And the acropetal succession, leaves are arising. Okay, see here, all of you. That is in acropetal order. Leaves originate from the shoot apical meristem arranged in an acropetal manner. They are the most important organ for photosynthesis. Why? Why? Because it is the organ in which we have the chloroplast. If chloroplast is there, chlorophyll is there. If chlorophyll is there, it can trap the light energy. Simple. A typical leaf consists of three main parts. A leaf base, petiole, that is the stalk, and third one is the lamina. So here we have the leaf base, here we have the petiole and the lamina. Entire thing is called as lamina. The first main point here, that is the lamina. Second is your petiole, and the third one is your leaf base. Three main points about a plant. Done. Now students, the leaf base. We learned about leaf base, right? Leaf base is right here. Can you see here? This part is called as your leaf base. Now sometimes what happens is this leaf base can become completely swollen. When the leaf base becomes completely swollen, it is called as pulvinous leaf base. All of you repeat after me. When the leaf base becomes swollen, it is called as pulvinous leaf base. Swollen leaf base. Right here. Can you see? Can you see right here? It's called as swollen leaf base. Can you see? Yes, where is it? Where is it? Yes, pulvinate. When the leaf base can become completely swollen, it is called as pulvinous leaf base. And pulvinous leaf base, students, pulvinous leaf base can be seen in the case of your legumes. In the case of legumes, that is leguminous plants. Leguminous plants, you can see the pulvinous leaf base. Now, what happens sometimes is the leaf base can become, it can partially cover the stem only. You might have seen in the case of your monocots. In the case of monocots, what happens is the leaf base, can you see, leaf base is partially covering the stem. Partially covering the stem. Now you might ask, sir, why is it happening in the case of monocots? In the case of monocots, why in the case of monocots? Why? Because if you remember, students, in the case of monocots, there is something called as intercalary meristem. There is something called as intercalary meristem. To protect the intercalary meristem, we have the sheathing leaf base. Sheathing leaf base, that is, this is the leaf. Leaf base is becoming completely covering the stem. Why? Because in the stem we have something called as intercalary meristem, which is found in the case of your monocots. And this concept you will learn where? This concept you will learn in anatomy of flowering plants. Right now I am telling you, intercalary meristem. At the base of the leaf base you can find stipules. Function of stipules, the main function of stipule is protecting the young bud. So what is pulvinous? Pulvinous means swollen. Pulvinous, NMR, means swollen. Swollen leaf base. Can you see it's becoming very swollen here? Swollen leaf base. Okay. See here. All of you read the lines of NCERT. Two lateral small leaf-like structure called as stipules. Leaf-like structure called as stipules at the base. Okay. In monocots, see, monocots, the leaf base expands into sheath. Leaf base is expanding. It is covering the stem, right? It covers the stem partially or wholly. In some leguminous plants, leaf base may become swollen. When the leaf base becomes completely swollen, that is called as pulvinous. Pulvinous. Okay. Petiole helps to hold the blade to the light. That is, petiole is the flexible part which has 𝐂𝐡𝐞𝐤, right? Long, thin, flexible petiole allows the leaf blade to flutter in the wind. That is, leaf will flutter in the wind. It will flutter in the wind. Why will it flutter? Because it has the 𝐂𝐡𝐞𝐤. 𝐂𝐡𝐞𝐤 provides flexibility. Okay. Now, thereby cooling the leaf and bringing fresh air to the leaf surface. Lamina or the leaf blade, same thing. Lamina or the entire leaf blade is green color, expanded part of the leaf with veins and veinlets. There is usually a middle prominent vein called as midrib. So largest vein in the middle is called as midrib. This is your entire leaf, students. Entire leaf here. In the middle we have a midrib. Midrib is also a vein. It is the largest vein. Remember that. Largest vein is called as your midrib. Okay. Now, veins provide rigidity. To the leaf blade and act as channel for transport of water. So you will learn this in anatomy again. You need to know that in this midrib, what is happening? In the midrib there is transport of water. Transport of water is happening in the midrib regions. In the midrib region, there is a transport of water is happening. Okay. And minerals and food material. The shape, margin, apex, very important lines, students. Very important lines, I'll tell you now. The shape of the leaf can change. For example, this is different types of shape of the leaves. Tell me, how many of you seen this in your real life? You might have seen this shape. Maples you might have seen. You might have seen the elm. You might have seen the lilac. You might have seen the poplar. You might not have seen the bridge, but you might have seen the oak. So all this is called as different shape of the leaf. It is called as what? Different shape of the leaves. They will not ask in the examination, but botany perspective you should know. Shape of leaf. different types of shape of the leaves, all of this. Next one is margin. Different types of margin is there. Margin. What is the meaning of margin, students? Margin. Understand. Here is the different types of leaf margin. Can you see here? This is called as serrated. Serrated. All of you might have noticed some leaf in the case of hibiscus also, the margin looks something like this. Have you noticed? The margin will look something like this. That is called as serrated. Serrated leaf margin. Serrated leaf margin. Here. Serrated. Then there is on the dentate. There is lobate. Right? You might have seen the palmicect. Pedate you might have seen. Or bipariate you might have seen somewhere. This you would have seen in the clove. Right? Margin. Margin can vary. Margin can vary. Right? So all of these are different types of leaf margins, not in your syllabus. Not in a syllabus, but interesting to note, right? Interesting to note all this leaf margin. Leaf margin. Next one is called as apex. Leaf apex. What is the meaning of apex here? Understand. The meaning of apex is this part right here. Can you see? The pointed part. This is called as leaf apex. It can be recurved. It can be pointing like accumulate. It can be, obtuse like normally. Or it can be, cuspediate. It is joining like that. It can be acute also in many cases. This is very common. Acute is very common. Acute is very common. All of you know acute. Right? It can be tendril like this turning. You might have seen this in real life. So this is called as apex. Different types of apex. This is margin. Margin. Okay. This they will not ask you in examination, but it is good to know all this. There are different types. Okay. Now, surface and extent of inclusion of lamina varies in different leaves. So there are multiple different types of leaf present in the environment. I might be drawing a simple leaf like this, but margin can be different. Apex can be different. The leaf shape can vary from a plant to plant. From a plant to plant it can vary. It won't be same. Interesting, no? This is the essence of pure botany. You might have seen all of this in your surroundings, but you never actually noticed it. Right? You never actually noticed it. So go on today, students. Go on tomorrow. Obviously, night is already happening night. So go on tomorrow and try to find a leaf. Try to find a leaf and check which type of margin it has, which type of shape it has, and which type of apex it has. All of you will do that? Yes or no? Try doing that, all of you, and you will find, such a beautiful different types of leaf. Okay? So go try to find different shape. Come back to this video and try to find the shape. Or if you want this PDF, students, if you want this PDF, first of all, let me know in the comment section how this session was. Okay? And also you can go to this channel, Telegram channel. Baswaraj Sir Biology. Biology. I will upload the PDF there. Okay? So go try finding all this. This is the shape of the leaf. This is called as leaf margin. This is called as leaf apex. Okay? Leaf apex. Now students, now we will start something called as venation. Understand venation. Very simple concept, venation. Okay. Don't go to Amazon forest and all, go to the nearby shop or go try finding in your nearby house only. Take a leaf and try to study the leaf. Like this is the leaf shape, leaf margin, leaf apex. Okay. Become botanist for one day. Now what is venation? Venation is nothing but very simple. Venation is nothing but arrangement of veins and veinlets. Arrangement of veins and veinlets is called as venation. For example, in the case of your dicot, leaf, if you notice the arrangement of veins and veinlets, they look something like this. That is, they find a network. They form a network of veins. Such type of arrangement of veins is called as reticulate venation. It is called as reticulate venation. Reticulate venation. Can you see reticulate venation? Now, what about in the case of monocots? In the case of monocots, can you see? There is a parallel arrangement. You might have seen banana leaf. When you eat the nice meals in weddings. In weddings, you eat nice meal. That means, look at the leaf, okay? It has something called as parallel venation in the leaf, you see. called as parallel venation. In the case of monocots, okay. Arrangement of veins and veinlets in the lamina of the leaf is termed as venation. Arrangement of veins and veinlets. Okay. When the veinlets form a network, they form a complete network, that is called as reticulate venation. When the veins run parallel to each other, veins are parallel to each other, that is called as parallel venation. Okay. Leaves of dicot plants generally possess reticulate. Dicot, reticulate, monocot, parallel. Monocot is parallel venation. Okay. This is a typical dicot leaf. Can you see? Reticulate venation. Reticulate venation. Dicot. In the case of monocot, we can see parallel venation. Parallel. Complete parallel venation in the case of monocots. Parallel venation. Okay. Now we will learn something called as type of leaf. Okay. Day before yesterday only it. Nice, nice. Okay. Nice. Okay. Now understand what is the meaning of simple leaf and a compound leaf. Understand, students. Understand. What is a simple leaf and what is a compound leaf? What is a simple leaf and a compound leaf? Okay. Now we will draw one leaf here. This right here is a simple leaf. This right here is also a simple leaf. This also is a simple leaf. Okay. This also is a simple leaf. Banana leaf, you can see parallel venation. Okay. This also is a simple leaf, right? It's also a simple leaf. Now, this right here is a compound leaf. What is the difference between those two? What is the difference between the two? What is the difference between the two of them? What is the difference? Understand students. In the case of a simple leaf, right? In the case of simple leaf, can you see the incision? This is called as incision right here. It is growing inside, right? It is going inside. This is called as incision. Incision. It is called as your incision. It's called as incisions. Here in the case of simple leaf, the incisions do not touch the midrib. It do not touch the midrib. Are you seeing them? Are they touching midrib? No, it is not touching the midrib. It is not touching the midrib here in the case of your simple leaf. But in the case of compound leaf, students, imagine this. This is an entire leaf. This is an entire leaf like this. And every single incision is touching the midrib here. Incision is touching the midrib. Incision is touching the midrib. So in the case of compound leaf, students, in the case of compound leaf, incision, each one is incision. Incision is touching the midrib. Incision is touching the midrib here. Can you see? The incision is actually touching the midrib. Now, this midrib here has a separate name. The midrib of a compound leaf here is called as rachis. It is called as rachis. And these are not called as leaf anymore. They are called as leaflets. They are called as leaflets. They are called as leaflets. Okay. Now, understand one more extra point. At the bottom of this leaf, we can see something called as axillary bud. All of you know, in the leaf axil, there is axillary bud present here. Axillary bud is here. But in the case of at the bottom of your leaflets, you will never find axillary bud. You will never find axillary bud. But in fact, at the base of the rachis, here you might find a axillary bud. axillary bud here. Axillary bud can be present here. Okay. So axillary bud will never be present at the base of leaflet, but axillary bud can be present here. Okay, axillary bud can be present at the base of rachis. That is called as a compound leaf. This is called as a simple leaf. In simple leaf, incision do not touch the midrib. They do not touch the midrib. But in the case of compound leaf, incision is touching the midrib and it is making something called as leaflet, and the midrib is called as rachis. It's called as rachis. Okay, and here axillary bud is present at the base of the rachis. Here at the base of the leaf. At the base of leaflet, no. At the base of leaflet, you do not find the axillary bud in the case of compound leaf. Compound leaf. Students, this is the beauty of the simple leaf and compound leaf. I hope you understood the concept of it. Okay. If you are able to understand the concepts, quickly smash that like button, smash the attendance button. Smash the attendance button, all of you. Okay. Simple leaf and compound leaf. Now, students, understand your compound leaf. Your compound leaf can be of two types. Your compound leaf can be something called as pinnately compound leaf. Pinnately compound leaf. Also, one more thing is called as palmately compound leaf. Palm, like your hand, palm. Palmately compound leaf. What is the difference? What is the difference? Very simple difference, students. Very simple difference. Understand. This is the stem. This is stem. Okay. This is the stem. Here we have the nodal region. Nodal region is here. Nodal region. Okay. Now this nodal region right now, students, is connected to petiole. Connected to petiole. The petiole is in turn connected to, what is this? It is connected to the rachis. Rachis. And on top of rachis, what do we have? We have the leaflets. Leaflets are present on top of the rachis. Leaflets are present on the top of the rachis. This is called as pinnately compound leaf. Can you see here? This is the rachis. Rachis is right here connected to rachis is connected to the petiole. Petiole is connected to the entire nodal region. That is called as pinnately compound leaf. But what is happening in the case of palmately, students? What is happening in the case of palmately compound leaf? In the case of palmately compound leaf, this is the stem. Here we have the nodal regions. All the leaf is directly attached. To the petiole. Here we have one petiole. One petiole is there. Okay. Petiole is present here. And all the leaflets are attached directly to the petiole in a palm-like structure. Directly attached to the petiole. So in the case of palmately compound leaf, you will not see something called as the rachis usually. You will not see the rachis. You will directly see the petiole attachment to the nodal region. That is the beauty of your palmately compound leaf. Okay. See what is given here. A leaf is said to be simple leaf when the lamina is entire, or when the incisions do not touch the midrib. Can you see here? The incisions are there. This is the midrib, right? This is the midrib. The incisions are not touching the midrib. That is called as a simple leaf. Simple leaf. When the incisions of the lamina reach up to the midrib, when the incisions are touching to the midrib, right, breaking it into number of leaflets, that is called as a compound leaf. A bud is present in the axil of the petiole. See, very important lines. Very important lines. A bud is present in the axil of petiole in both simple and compound leaf. A bud is present at the petiole, okay, but not in the axil of the leaflets of the compound leaf. So, do you find bud in the axil of your leaflets? No. In the axil of leaflets, you do not find bud. The bud will be present only in the case of the petiole. This is the petiole, right? At the end of the petiole, not on the leaflets, only at the base of petiole, not at the base of leaflets, okay. Now, the compound leaf may be two types, pinnately and palmately. In pinnately compound leaf, a number of leaflets are present on a common axis called as rachis, which represents the midrib of the leaf, as in the case of neem. It is attached to the rachis. Rachis is attached to the petiole and petiole is attached to the node. Example is what? Example is neem. Example is going to be neem. Here example is going to be silk cotton. Palmately compound leaf. Okay. The palmately compound leaf, the leaflets are attached to the common point, that is the tip of the petiole. Students, is anywhere mention of rachis happening here? Tell me. In palmately compound leaf, the leaflets are attached to the common point called as tip of the petiole in the case of silk cotton. In the case of palmately compound leaf, they are attached to the petiole, not to the rachis. Okay, directly to the petiole, and petiole is attached to the nodal region. So you're understanding the depths of lines of NCERT and not by hearting any of it. Okay, so silk cotton, leaflets, all of these are called as what? Your leaflets. Leaflets are attached to the common point called as petiole. Okay, beautiful. Any doubt here? Any one of you? Any doubt? So did you understand how this works? Right? No. Next one is called as phyllotaxy. Ready for phyllotaxy, all of you? Students, tell me. Ready for phyllotaxy? Yes or no? Ready for phyllotaxy now? We'll start phyllotaxy, all of you. We'll start. Phyllotaxy is very simple. Phyllotaxy is nothing but arrangement of leaf. Phyllotaxy is arrangement of leaf. That's all is phyllotaxy. Understand now. Understand, students. In phyllotaxy, we will see the arrangement of leaf at one node. How many leaf are coming? That's all. Understand. For example, first one. We'll divide into three sections. Divide into three different sections. Okay, three different sections. For understand the first one. In first one, what is happening? In the first one, what is happening, students? Single leaf at each node. A single leaf at each node. Here we have, for example, we have the stem. We have the stem here, students. This is nodal region. At each nodal region, we only have one leaf. We have one leaf at each node. In an alternating manner, at each node, you only have one leaf. Example is China rose, mustard and sunflower. China rose, mustard and sunflower. China rose, mustard and sunflower. What is this called as? Can anyone tell me? Can anyone tell me what do you call this type of arrangement of phyllotaxy? Do we call it alternate, or do we call it opposite, or do we call it world? Can anyone tell me in the chat? Second one will go. Second one. Names you tell me later on. In second one, a pair of leaf. A pair of leaves at each node. At each node, you can see a pair of leaf. For example, this right here is the stem. This right here is the stem here. Stem right here. At each nodal region, we can see two leaves, a pair of leaf at each node. Everything is in acropetal succession. What does the meaning of acropetal? Young at the top, old at the bottom. This is called as a pair of leaf at each node. Okay. Example is guava and calotropis. Guava and calotropis. The third one, students. Again, you have in third one we have more than two leaves at each node. Understand, very simple again, very simple to understand. This is the stem, this is the node. At each node, we can see more than two leaves arising. More than two leaves arising at each node. Can you see this? At each node, there is more than two leaves. At each node, right? The example is Allostonia. Allostonia. Clear? Now, let's read the NCERT and let's give them names. Okay. Now, phyllotaxy is the pattern of arrangement of leaves on the stem or a branch. This is usually three types: alternate, opposite, and whorled. In alternate type of phyllotaxy, single leaf arise at each node in an alternating manner, as in the case of China rose, mustard, and sunflower. So the first one is called, students, what? The first one is called as alternate. Single leaf at each node in an alternating manner. Next, in opposite phyllotaxy, a pair of leaf arise at each node. That is opposite phyllotaxy. This is called as opposite phyllotaxy. Example is guava and calotropis. If more than two leaves arise at a node, it forms whorled. That is whorled called. Example is Allostonia. Whorled. It's called as whorled. Done. Tell me, students, did all of you understand what is the meaning of the different types of phyllotaxy with the help of diagram? All of you? Yes or no? What is the doubt? Quickly ask your doubts. Any doubt? Shoot your doubts. Any doubts till now? Quickly shoot them at me. If there is no doubt, we'll go ahead. Okay. Next concept, see, alternate, hibiscus, mustard, and sunflower. Alternating manner. Guava, opposite. Can you see? Calotropis also opposite. This is called as Allostonia whorled phyllotaxy. One node, many different leaves. The last topic for today, friends. After this, we'll end the class. That is called as leaf modification. Ready, all of you? Ready? Sir, China rose and table rose are same. Table rose, I'm not sure. I have to check. How is the table rose looks like? Okay, but your hibiscus and China rose are same. Hibiscus and China rose are same to same. Table rose, which is the common rose, is different. Okay, common rose is different because common rose is rosaceae. China rose, which is hibiscus, is malvaceae. Table rose, I think if you're calling it table rose as your normal rose, that is rosaceae. Okay, and if you talk about your China rose, which is hibiscus, that is malvaceae. That is chocolate family. Okay, that is completely different. Okay, the last topic today is called as leaf modification, students. And students, first of all, if you are watching the session till now, quickly clap for yourself, all of you, because it is not very easy. It is not very easy to sit down for such a long time and understand the concepts at this time of the year. Right? So I want everyone to appreciate yourself right now for sitting such a long time, and make sure you clap for yourself. Okay, so appreciate it. It shows your determination, it shows your hard work, and you're willing to learn even at the detailed lectures for 3 hours, 3.5 hours with us. Okay, so thank you so much for all of you. It's your hard work which is going to be fruitful one day. Okay, so leaf modification, all of you, very simple. Again, leaf modification is very simple. Okay, first one is for support. In support, what happens is the leaf gets modified. In support, the leaf gets modified into tendrils. This is similar to your stem. But the major difference here is that the leaf tendrils are much more not branched. They are not branched. Example is pea plant. Example is your pea plant. Pea plant is the example. Pea plant is the example here. Second one is for protection. That is, leaf is getting converted into spine. Example is going to be cactus. Third one is for storage. That is, leaf can become completely fleshy. A leaf can become completely fleshy. Can anyone give me an example? Can you give me an example for this fleshy leaf, which all of you eat nicely? You make bhaji out of it. Pakoda, you say pakoda. Example is onion and garlic. Onion and garlic are the examples of your storage. Leaf can become fleshy, which you eat nicely. Make pakoda and nice, fry it. Okay. Next one, students. Next one. What will happen if instead of leaf there is modification of petiole? That is, a petiole can become photosynthetic in nature. A petiole is becoming photosynthetic nature. Example is Australian acacia. Okay, this is the different types of modification. Other thing is for for eating also. Yes, or can I say hunting? A leaf gets modified for hunting. That's right, hunting. How? Pitcher plant, insectivorous plants. They get modified for completely hunting purposes. I'll show you images now, students. See this. Here, can you see? Leaf modification, 3 days NCERT line, then I'll show you images. Leaves are often modified into perform functions other than the photosynthesis. Tendrils, spines, all of you learned spines. Then we learned fleshy leaf in the case of garlic and onion. Australian acacia, where the leaf are small and short-lived. The petiole in this plant is expanded. See, petiole gets expanded completely. I'll show the image for this. Where leaf is very short, but petiole becomes expanded. In the green and photosynthesis food, that is called as your phyllodes. I didn't mention, no. This right here is called as phyllodes. Modification of petiole is called as phyllodes. Okay. Cladophile is that was previous one. Cladophile was your stem modification, opentia and euphorbia. This is phyllodes, that is cladophyle. Phyllodes in leaf. Okay. Then your leaves of certain insectivorous plants is a pitcher plant and Venus flytrap plant. See this, students. Can you see this? This is your pea plant tendrils. Tendril formation in the pea plant. At the same time, can you see here? Spines of cactus. Each one is a leaf. Each one is a leaf here. This entire thing is a stem. Each small spike is a leaf here. Okay, phylloclad. Yes, it becomes phylloclad. In the case of your phyllodes, I wrote. Yes, phyllodes. Okay, phyllodes. Then we have your storage one. See here, in the garlic and onion, do you see this outer leaf? That is called as the dry scaly leaf. Inside we have the fleshy leaf, which you eat nicely. Okay, enjoy it nicely. See, students, can you see here? Phyllodes here. Phyllodes. Can you see here? This right here is the leaf. This is the short leaf. This right here, expand part. This is petiole. This is the petiole which expands. This petiole expands, and this petiole right here, expands nicely, and it can do photosynthesis. Phyllodes. This right here is phyllodes. Okay, all of you understood? So such beautiful plants are, right? Such intricate plants are. This is your pitcher plant, Nepenthes, and this is your Venus flytrap plant, which can use for hunting also. And we will stop, students. We will stop there for today's class. Okay, we will stop there for today's class, and in the next class we will start with inflorescence. Next class will start with inflorescence. Then we will do something called as your flower. We will do symmetry. We will do something called as androecium, gynoecium. We will do something called as your zygomorphic, symmetry again. Then we will do something called as hypogynous, epigynous, and perigynous. Then we will learn something called as fruit and seed. And the chapter is over for all of you. Okay. So before we go, do you want to solve some questions? I think questions are missing. Lol. No, questions are here. Tell the answer, students. Tell the answer. Identify the correct set of statements. Time starts now. Go. Go. Quickly go. Which are the correct set of statements? All of you. The correct set of statements. Time starts now. Quickly go, all of you. Quickly start doing the questions. Identify the correct set of statements. Students, first one. The leaflets are modified into pointed hard thorns. In the case of citrus and bougainvillea, see, it is called as thorns, but is it leaf, students? Is it leaf? Is it leaflet? Tell me, is it leaflet? All of you who are making it wrong, understand. Is it leaflet or should it be stem? This is where you go mistake. Tell me now. What is the answer? Is the first statement even correct now? Tell me. The leaflets are modified of thorns into citrus and bougainvillea. But all of you know, all of you are aware that in today's class we learnt leaf becoming modified is in the case of spine. Leaf becoming modified is spine. Leaflet is getting modified is spine. Stem is getting modified is called as thorn. This simple difference every single student should know. Now all of you went wrong here. Tell the right answer now. Shoot the answer. Oh. Tell the answer. D4, Diksha sir, exactly. Now those of you went wrong, let me know in the comment section. If you cannot, don't make the same mistake again. Okay. So this is wrong statement. Axillary bud forms slender, spirally coiled tendrils in cucumber, pumpkin. Yes. Correct. Stem is flat and fleshy in the case of opentia and modified performs functions. Cladophile. Correct. Rhizophora shows vertical upwards. Yes. New metaphors. Subaerial growing of stem. Grass and strawberry propagation. Yes. That is your runner. Okay. That is your runner. Nice scam all of you do. Read the question. Time starts now. Go. Choose the mismatched pair of leaf character with example. All of you go. Nicely wrong answer you're giving. Just now I thought you on goldfish memory, all of you, suddenly goldfish you became. Huh? Goldfish memory is happening with all of you. Today only I am told leaflet is making spine, thorn is making from stem. Now only wrong answer suddenly. Imagine the exam condition, full pressure. Okay. So students, all of you went wrong. Please remember this statement throughout your life. Okay. Leaflet, spine, stem is thorn. After the goldfish memory suddenly. Choose the mismatch pair. Palmately compound leaf, Allostonia. No. Allostonia is world. Allostonia is world. So first one only is wrong. Gone. Exactly. All of you gingerly oil suddenly. All of you became gingerly oil. Next question. Which of the following shows world phyllotaxy? Now tell me the answer. Don't go wrong here, all of you. Supriya, natural nerd. Natural nerd. Nice name. Come with your real name next time. Okay. Following is the world. World is going to be your Allostonia. Okay. World is going to be Allostonia. Next question. Leaf becomes modified into spine. See, leaf is becoming spine. Leaf is becoming spine. Where is it happening? Opentia, pea, onion, or silk cotton? Leaf is becoming spine. In the case of your, sir, do you know Telugu? I can understand. Here and there manage, but fluently speaking, not happening. Leaf becomes spine, all of you know Opentia. Do not make the mistake here. Opentia, all of you know. Next question. Oh, this is inflorescence. That's it for today's class, friends. That's it for today's class. Now I will ask you one question. I will ask you one question which I want everyone to comment in the answer in the comment section. If you don't comment, I will come and check and I will scold all of you. Yes, I will scold all of you. Okay. The question goes like this. Okay. I want you to give me an example. I want you to give me an example of leaf tendril in the comments. Leaf tendril. Leaf tendril example. Stem tendril example. Tendril example. Example and example in the comment section. In the comment section. All of you will check. Homework question. Homework question goes. Okay, don't cheat. Do not go back and check it also. Do not go back and check. Comment as such. Do not do cheating and all. Okay. So leaf tendril, stem tendril. Okay. That is your homework question, all of you. That is your homework question for all of you. Don't tell now. Don't tell now. What is wrong? When two brain cells are active in the night time, no, this is what happens. Don't tell the answer now. Tell the answer in the comment section later on. Very simple to understand. Yes, very simple to understand. And while you're filling all this, while you're filling all this, tell me if you want us to continue NCERT line by line. Because NCERT line by line takes a lot of time and effort. You're realizing that, right? You're realizing that. I could have finished this entire chapter in 4 hours. I can finish the entire chapter in 3 hours or even 2 hours. In 2 hours, I can finish the entire chapter if I want to. If I have all the notes written with me, I can read the notes and not write everything and read the lines of NCERT. I can finish the entire thing in just 2 hours, the entire chapter. But why am I doing this NCERT line by line? Why are we doing this NCERT line by line? Okay. Why we're doing this entire thing is because we need our students to understand the basics. See, we are going from basics everywhere. We are understanding every line of NCERT and we're reading NCERT and we are making the session very beautiful for you to realize how beautiful the plants are. Right? So, let me know in the comment section if you're enjoying line by line of NCERT. Ravindrani, today only this many questions. My brain is really not braining now. Okay, after the almost 4 hours. Now students, before I go, all of you quickly go eat your dinner and comment section you can come and fill later on with the love and everything. So before I go, let me tell you students, let me remind all of you that MVSAT is coming near, right? MVSAT is Thank you so much, Jensley. That is crazy dude, I believe. Now, NVSAT is coming near. I want everyone to write NVSAT. All of you write NVSAT. Please write NVSAT. There is so much to gain, very little to lose. So much to gain, very little to lose. So write NVSAT exam. It's happening very soon. Okay, and the best part is it will be like a mock test to you. You will know where you stand, and if you score really well, you will get some goodies and everything. But it is all secondary. This iPad, iPhone, drone, all that is secondary. The main thing is that you will test yourself. It will be like a free mock test for all of you. A free mock test for all of you. So write the examination, NVSAT examination. Link is in the description. So quickly go right now. Okay, not right now, later on. So thank you so much, students, for today's class, and have an amazing night. Eat well, sleep well, revise NCERT, and download the notes from the Telegram channel from the Vedantu NEET English and Baswara Sir Biology. So with that being said, thank you so much, students, for today's class. Love. And students, how many of you from where you are, also tell me. I want to know some. I know many are from Telangana, many are from Karnataka, many are from Kerala also, many from Tamil Nadu also. So let me know where you're from, because I want everyone to know from where students are. Telugu, I can understand Telugu. Okay, I can understand Telugu but not speak Telugu. Okay, so bye bye, students. Take care, all of you, and good night. Bye bye.